Part 87. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 873. Chapter 854, The Territory Under the Jurisdiction of Chongshan, the Fantasy World of Wang Liang. After flying forward for nearly 10 million miles under the leadership of Zhuge-Liu-Yun, an even larger city appeared in the eyes of the immortals. On the left and right sides of the city are tall buildings that they have seen many times, with heights of hundreds of feet or even hundreds of feet. But in the core there is indeed a vast expanse of low, beautiful ancient buildings surrounded by various spiritual plants, with a mix of ancient buildings in the middle. Lakes of all sizes. Looking down from a bird's eye view, the aura is faint, the rays of the sun are brilliant, and it is very beautiful. This is the Dengzhou upper court of Chongshan Academy. Zhuge-Liu-Yun did not fly in, but slapped the yellow gourd on his waist, and the bright light yellow light rushed forward. For a moment, a wide space channel appeared in mid-air. "Seniors, please follow me." After that, he took the first step and flew in. Zhen Yuanzi and others were highly practiced, so they naturally didn't worry about anything and flew in after them. With a flash of light, the world has changed before my eyes. This is a vast world that is tens of thousands of miles long. The richness of spiritual energy is several times that of the outside world. "My little friend, where is this place?" Zhen Yuanzi asked. "Back to the great immortal, this is the cave in the inner courtyard of Dengzhou upper court of Chongshan Academy." "It's a pretty good place," Zhen Yuanzi said. "In fact, at the beginning, this place was only about 1,000 miles away, and it was not as big as it is now. Later, it continued to absorb the spiritual energy of the earthly fairy world, and then slowly grew to its current scale. Follow Zhuge-Liu-Yun and fly upward. There are 7 suspended peaks there. Qingyun Peak where the inner disciples live, Biang Peak where the direct disciples live, Chiming Peak where the books and treasures are stored, Black Prison Peak where the punishment is, Zixiao Peak where the government affairs are, Jinding Peak where the trials are, and the core of the section the central peak where the main hall is located. Almost every upper courtyard and main courtyard of Chongshan Academy have these 7 peaks. Zhuge-Liu-Yun led the immortals directly to the central peak. Set down on the vast bluestone square at the top of the mountain. This place was originally the place where all the disciples' councils were convened, so it was as large as nearly 100 football fields and was extremely grand. At the end of the bluestone square, there are 99 steps, and above the steps, a majestic palace that is thousands of feet long and 100 feet high. Chongshan Hall. After arriving at the square, the immortals instantly saw a man under the steps wearing a green Taoist robe, a gold rope around his waist, a green gourd hanging on his waist, and dormant shoes on his feet. A tall man with black hair hanging casually on the back of his head, thick eyebrows and big eyes, a calm temperament, the young man standing in front. Behind him, on the left side, stood a tall middle-aged man wearing a brown cloak, a red gourd hanging from his waist, and black boots, with a bun on his head, a big beard on his chin, and a sharp breath. Judging from the auras they displayed, there was no doubt that they were all Tai Golden Immortals. Zhuge-Liu-Yun came closer and bowed to salute. "Greetings to the Patriarch, Master. The disciple no longer trusted me and brought all the immortal guests here." "Well done, get down there." "Yes." Zhuge-Liu-Yun came to stand behind his master Yan Chixia. His eyes swept over the immortals, and when Zhen Yuanzi used the heaven and earth treasure mirror to observe the entire Chongshan boundary ceiling formation, he noticed it. Then he came to the nearest Dengzhou upper court and asked Zhuge-Liu-Yun to greet him. "Give your hand as a gift." Su Junming has met the 3 immortals, Zhenyuan Immortal, Lishan Old Mother, White Tiger Monarch, Medicine King, Barefoot Immortal, Fu Luxiao, Goshen Daijun, and Changfeng Immortal. All the immortals returned the gift one by one. The immortals were led by Zhen Yuanzi, who had the highest level of cultivation and was the earliest. If he didn't speak, the immortals would naturally not dare to overstep. I took the liberty of visiting you, and I hope fellow Taoists won't be surprised. What do you say, great immortal? You are all distinguished guests that I cannot invite. It is an honor for me, Chongshan, to be able to come to my Chongshan Academy. Please come in. Please. Cross the steps and enter the main hall. The magnificent hall is like a giant's residence. There are 108 luminous pearls above the head, illuminating every detail of the entire hall. It was empty all around, except for the vast innermost jade wall with 4 large characters embossed on it. Flying dragons and dancing phoenixes, iron paintings, and silver hooks. Chongshan Academy. Arriving under the jade, Su Junming turned around. Everyone, please take a seat. The immortals then sat down, and a stream of pure yang qi rose from the ground and turned into a lotus, carrying the Dharma body. Mother Lishan smiled and said, "This method is really wonderful." "Huh, what a small trick," Bai Ying said disdainfully. Su Junming smiled faintly and waved his sleeves. The main hall disappeared in an instant, and green willows sprouted from the ground around everyone, growing into a quiet bamboo forest in the blink of an eye. Then the sun shone brightly, the wind was gentle, and the birds were singing and the flowers were fragrant. It was almost as if we were really in a bamboo forest. The 3 immortal lords, Taiguai Li, Barefoot Immortal, Fu Luxiao, and Emperor Go Chen, all had expressions of surprise on their faces. With their cultivation level, there was no difference at all, as if they had suddenly gone from the cold and vast Chongshan Hall to the natural bamboo forest outside. But the warmth under their buttocks told them that they were still where they were. Mother Lishan and Bai Ying looked around, their eyes blazing with inspiration, and they had obviously used Taoism. But even though they, being in the Deluo realm, could see something strange, they still couldn't get rid of this bamboo forest. Immortal Zhen Yuan has the highest cultivation level and the strongest strength. After a brief look, he looked at Su Junming. Su Dai's brilliant illusion technique. The great immortal has oversold you. The name of his hand is Huangliang Fantasy World, which is the soul-level magical power awakened when Ke Yinpo Ao Tian was born. As he understood the way of the heart and soul and entered the Deluo realm, the power of this innate magical power became more powerful. He touched his right hand in front of him, and a tea tray with roots of an old tree appeared in front of him. Various tea sets are neatly placed above. After skillfully washing and brewing the tea, it was delivered to the immortals with magic power. Please taste some tea leaves grown by me. The immortals who came here with the great immortal Zhen Yuan were all people with high status, long-term cultivation, and extensive knowledge. After just one glance and a sniff, he recognized it instantly. Tai's best spiritual tea, Taiguai Li said in surprise. Li Dao has a friendly eye. Su Junming had a good impression of Taiguai Li and the Barefoot Immortal. If the other party had not told the story of the 6-eared macaque, he would have suffered a big loss in the future. I never thought that apart from the great immortal, fellow Taoists would also have such treasures. Zhen Yuanzi achieved enlightenment through earth and wood, so it is naturally easier to cultivate spiritual seeds than those who practice other avenues. Fellow Taoists Su has a lot of opportunities, which is enviable, old Mother Lishan said. Su Junming smiled. Since this is good tea, please try it. After the immortals nodded, they each finished drinking. Su Junming refilled their second cup. Although everyone wanted to drink it right away, they all had years of practice and status, and no one would do such a shameful thing as chewing peonies. Fellow Taoist Su, I wonder who that little fellow Taoist is. Zhen Yuanzi has been on Su Junming's left side. It's my fault. I would like to introduce you to you, this is my 5th disciple Yan Chixia, whose Taoist name is the Chu-bearded sword saint. 5th disciple. The faces of the 3 immortal lords Taiguai Li, Barefoot Immortal, Fu Luxiao, Go Chen Daijun and others changed slightly. Bai Ying and Bai Changfeng, 2 strong men of the White Tiger clan, even changed their expressions. 5 disciples means there are 4 more disciples ahead. Seeing that Yan Chixia has now reached the realm of Tai Golden Immortal, there is no reason why the first 4 disciples should be worse. Most of them are also Tai Golden Immortal. In this way, the strength of Chongshan Academy is very impressive. If Tai Guili, Barefoot Immortal, and others were just surprised, then Bai Ying and Bai Changfeng's hearts sank. There are many conflicts between the White Tiger clan and Chongshan Academy. If the other party is stronger, it means that it will be difficult for them to gain the upper hand when facing this opponent in the future. Surprise flashed across Zhen Yuan's eyes. Fellow Taoist Su teaches well, and my disciple's cultivation level is on par with your master. The young are better than the blue. It would be better if their cultivation level is better than mine, Su Junming said with a smile. Zhen Yuanzi smiled in agreement. Where did fellow Taoist Su practice Taoism before? Have you never heard of it before? Pandeo has been in Nanzan Buzhu, but his previous cultivation level was low and it was difficult for him to reach the ears of the great immortal. I see. But I heard fellow Taoists Xiao Li and Barefoot say that the last time they met fellow Taoist, his cultivation was no better than Tai True Immortal. Oh, what they saw was just my body. Su Junming smiled faintly, and using the top-grade immortal treasure Tianligo as a support, a clone came out of the body. Because of the cover of the Hunyuan divine sect, it is almost difficult to distinguish the true from the false by relying only on spiritual consciousness. The same feeling made Tai Guili and Barefoot Immortal suddenly realize. The Taoist teachings of Chongshan sect are indeed mysterious. The great immortal's wonderful praise, I am so ashamed of myself. If I hadn't been of low cultivation and never had any contact with you, so I didn't dare to come rashly, I would have gone to Wuzhuang Temple in Wanchao Mountain to ask for Taoist teachings. The half-compliment, half-sincere words made the smile on immortal Janai Yuan's face become a little brighter. After picking up the teacup and taking a sip, he said nothing more. Bai Yingying, who knows the elegant meaning of the string song by listening to it, is not good at Taoism. Su Junming, your Chongshan Academy is pressing forward every step of the way, killing my demon clan everywhere. Do you want to become an enemy of White Tiger City in 10,000 Beast Mountain? What City Master Bai said is wrong. You must have seen it when you came here. Under my rule, Chongshan, all humans and monsters are equal, and there is no indiscriminate killing. How can City Master Bai say that we are deliberately against you? Humph. The Blacktooth Demon Nation, the Longhorn Demon Nation, and the Yellow Spot Demon Nation that you recently destroyed are all demon clans affiliated with our White Tiger City. Do you dare to deny that your Chongshan Academy did not annex them? If City Lord Bai is talking about these 3 demon kingdoms, Chongshan Academy did destroy them. But we are not killing indiscriminately, but doing justice for heaven. You are so good at doing justice for heaven. Are you just doing justice for heaven by killing our demon clan? Bai Ying said sarcastically. Of course not. The Blacktooth Demon Country, the Longhorn Demon Nation, and the Yellow-Spotted Demon Nation have always taken pleasure in devouring human beings. Over the past thousands of years, more than hundreds of millions of human beings have died in their mouths. People who are so ferocious and easy to kill, who don't know the time and destiny, how come we, Chongshan Academy, are not doing justice for heaven by eliminating them? Su Junming was decisive and would not give in. Bai Ying stared at him. What a sharp and articulate mouth. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 874. If the road is uneven, someone will trample on it, and if things are unfair, someone will take care of it. The purpose of our Chongshan Academy is to eradicate evil, protect the common people, and let the light of justice shine on the world. Whether it's a man who kills a demon or a demon who kills someone, once it is proven, he will not be leniently punished. What Su Junming said was decisive and powerful. The persistence in his words made everyone present tremble. Next to them, Yan Chixia and Zhuliuyun showed pride. For thousands of years, they have been tirelessly practicing the standards and purposes of Chongshan Academy under the leadership of their ancestors. Now that the territory is becoming more prosperous, they understand that, there is nothing wrong with everything you strive for. Seeing that Su Junming was taking the lead in the conversation, Bai Changfeng said quickly. Now that there is no evidence, who knows whether what you said is true or false, and whether those demon clans that were destroyed are good or evil. White Tiger City in 10,000 Beasts Mountain has a great reputation. I think the underworld will definitely betray you. If you don't believe me, just go check it out, Su Junming said. Bai Ying looked gloomy. At this moment, Zhen Yuanzi and others were here, and he did not dare to cultivate his martial skills and go on a killing spree. But if it were to be forgotten, obviously he would not be willing to do so. No matter what, millions of monsters died at your hands. As the lord of the 10,000 Beasts Mountain, I, the White Tiger clan, cannot ignore it. What does City Lord Bai want? Su Junming said calmly. Bai Ying looked solemn. You and I have a battle of wits. For fear of being misunderstood by others, he quickly continued, I won't bully you either. I will seal most of my cultivations and fight you with my cultivations in the Ether Gold Fairyland. Su Junming looked sarcastic. Although the magic power can be sealed, the magical power of the realm is still there. City Lord Bai is really fair and just. Bai Ying couldn't help but show embarrassment. If he had the choice, he wouldn't want to do this. But the other Tai Golden Immortals in Beihu City, let alone Su Junming, couldn't beat Yan Chixia next to them. The latter's sharp purple-green sword energy is still superior to the White Tiger clan's Zhengjin Divine Light in terms of killing power. No choice, only his ancestor appeared in person. With his status and cultivation, he definitely couldn't fight Yan Chixia. Therefore, as the master, Su Junming became the best choice. What do you want? You and I each have our own methods, but if I get a lucky draw, White Tiger City in 10,000 Beast Mountains will cede the Chili Demon Kingdom to me, Chongshan Academy. You mean, you want to use your Tai Golden Immortal body to fight with me as Deluo? Good. The affirmative answer instantly changed the expressions of everyone present. Even Zhen Yuanzi looked surprised. Although Tai Golden Immortal is the top in Tai realm, compared with Deluo Monk, it is not an exaggeration to say that there is a gap between heaven and earth. If you think that Ether Yi Jingxian challenges Deluo, you are either stupid or you have something to fight for. As the leader of a sect, Su Junming certainly cannot be a fool. But Bai Ying, the ancestor of the White Tiger, didn't think that this person was his opponent. Okay, I promise you, as long as you can make a tie with me, I will make the decision to cede the Chili Demon Kingdom to Chongshan Academy. Chili Demon Kingdom is adjacent to Chongshan Academy. It is a large country spanning 30 million miles. The leader of the country, Chili Demon Saint, is a great demon in the Tai Golden Immortal realm. If it weren't for the backing of White Tiger City, Chili Demon Kingdom would have been swallowed up by Chongshan Academy. But if you lose, take your Chongshan Academy and leave Nanzan Buzhu. Su Junming shook his head. City Lord Bai's words are wrong. Your cultivation level is much higher than mine. If you want me, Chongshan Academy, to leave Nanzan Buzhu, let Immortal Zhen Yuan seal your cultivation level, Ether Ye Gold the Immortal's magic power fights with mine. Bai Ying's eyes flickered. The other party dared to propose a fight with himself, who was at the level of Deluo Tianxian, so he must have something to fight for. If I seal my magic power and fight him, I'm afraid I'll lose more than I win. Moreover, with his own identity and magic power, winning is not worth bragging about, and losing is even more embarrassing. I can't lose and cede the Chili Demon Kingdom. If you lose, you'll be fine, right? Of course, who makes the city master's cultivation level much higher than mine? Bai Ying narrowed her eyes slightly and her tone was cold. You are really not afraid that I will kill you and destroy Chongshan Academy? Su Junming shook his head. You can't kill me, and you can't destroy Chongshan Academy. The two sides stared at each other. Although Bai Ying, De Luo, and Luo Tianxian had the upper hand, it was still difficult for the three masters and disciples on the opposite side to bend down. After a while, Bai Ying lost his momentum. Okay, I promise you. Everyone was shocked. Tai versus De Luo, they really wanted to see such a hugely disparate battle. Please. Please. Su Junming and Bai Ying jumped into the sky and quickly left the cave heaven Dharma realm and reached the sky above tens of thousands of feet. Zhen Yuanzi and others also followed. Master, can Master win? Zhuge Liuyun asked worriedly. Don't worry, your master never does anything he's not sure about. Great Immortal, this battle is truly rare. Mother Lishan looked at the two sides facing each other thousands of feet apart and said softly. Yes. Since the end of the Middle Ages, it has been difficult to encounter them. Zhen Yuanzi narrowed his eyes slightly and said. Who does Daxian think can win? Of course you will know after trying it. Tai Guili stared at the aloof and upright figure in a green robe thousands of feet away. What a surprise. Yes. I originally thought he was just Tai Xianxian, but I didn't expect that he was Tai Golden Immortal, more powerful than you and me. Now he has the courage to fight against De Luo Realm monks, the Barefoot Immortal side. After this battle, no matter what the outcome is, the name of fellow Taoist Su will spread throughout Nanzan Buzhu. The Barefoot Immortal nodded in agreement. Su Junming wears a fierce military robe, his tall body is like Yuan Ting Yuji, and his bearing is extraordinary. As soon as his heart moved, a majestic divine gate appeared behind him. This divine door is 9 feet high and 7 feet wide. It is gray and black. It has 2 stone doors with divine patterns on the front and back. A powerful, vast, and mysterious aura spread. De Luo Lingbao. The birthday boy exclaimed in surprise. The immortals nearby also showed surprise. But Zhen Yuanzi saw deeper than them. Time, space, seal, heart, and soul, such a powerful spiritual treasure can actually gather these 4 kinds of perfection. Su Junming's body flew up lightly and slowly landed on the divine gate. Boom, the Shenman shines brightly. It took nearly a decade to train this Hunyuan Shenman into a De Luo low-grade spiritual treasure with 3 spiritual restrictions. Today is the first time that he appears in front of others. Bai Ying was also surprised by the power of this divine gate. Is this what you're up to? Not completely. Su Junming slowly shook his head. Hunyuan Shenman is so tyrannical that it is not difficult to block Bai Ying, but what is difficult is that he does not have enough mana to support Hunyuan Shenman to bloom its power for a long time. Forming the seals with both hands, it was very slow at first, but it turned out to be faster. All those who are facing the battle are arrayed in front. The great formation of Chongshan to seal the boundary is up. Thousands of brilliance bloomed from the palm, and the Hunyuan divine gate buzzed and trembled instantly. Right now, in the entire world of Chongshan Academy, there are Chongshan General Academy, 178 upper courtyards, 3,972 middle courtyards, and 129,837 lower courtyards. Blooming at the same time. Thick spiritual pillars soared into the sky, and the Chongshan boundary sealing formation was fully operational. The mighty spiritual energy is like a roaring dragon, roaring and gathering. Hunyuan Shenman, as the formation expanded instantly. But in just a moment, it had already transformed into 100,000 feet. The huge blue-gray stone gate looks like an ancient giant mountain, stretching between heaven and earth. The 4 divine patterns are becoming more and more restrained. A tyrannical aura that suppressed the past and future, billions of Hengsha worlds, and thousands of creatures slowly spread out. So strong. Emperor Gushan looked at the majestic Shenman in the distance in shock. Too strong. The eyes of Yan Chixia and Zuch Liuyun were filled with fanatical reverence. Zhen Yuanzi and Lishan's mother also looked surprised. They finally understood why Su Junming dared to take on the body of the Tai Golden Immortal and challenge the Deluo Celestial Immortal. Changfeng Immortal Lord Bai Changfeng had worry and even fear on his face. This stone gate was so powerful that just the aura it exuded made him shudder, as if his soul had been swallowed. Bai Ying bore the brunt. But as a big Luo, his arrogance did not allow him to have the slightest fear. "Come on, let me see how strong you are." Roar. The roar of the tiger penetrated the clouds and cracked the rocks, shaking hundreds of millions of miles. The demonic energy soaring into the sky was like a tidal wave bursting from a dam, roaring in all directions, sweeping across hundreds of thousands of feet in the blink of an eye. In the thick demonic clouds, a huge white tiger with its head and tail swaying, with divine marks on its top, divine eyes, and a majestic body, with its head and tail adding up to 180,000 feet, appeared in everyone's eyes. Vast and boundless, demonic clouds like celestial phenomena, direct impact on the soul, making people subconsciously bow to the huge pressure on the ground, all showing the tyranny of Deluo Celestial Immortal. Standing on the Hunyuan Divine Gate, looking at the powerful white tiger in the distance, Su Junming was glad that he was well prepared. Otherwise, let alone a draw in this battle, he would not be able to hold on for a few rounds before he would be killed by his opponent. Now, I'm firmly invincible. Nowadays, the Chongshan realm sealing formation has not been activated to the extreme. If hundreds of millions of Chongshan disciples are added, the power of this formation can be increased hundreds of times. But he would not use this ultimate method unless absolutely necessary. City Lord Bai, if you are ready, this battle will begin. Come on, let me see what you can do. The mighty sound resounded throughout the sky. After Su Junming nodded, his gestures changed. Soul chain. Crack, there was a sound of iron chains, and the sky was filled with iron ropes flying out from the divine gate. Each one is thousands of feet thick. The dark color is like an abyss of hell, sucking the soul. Thousands of iron ropes, like arrows from the string, shot toward Bai Ying like lightning. Well done, Tiger Soul Sword. Billions of sword lights bloomed around Bai Ying's body. The sharp sword light shone thousands of miles away, and the sharp sword energy shook the sky. With a slap of his tiger claws like Optimus Prime, the air exploded, and endless sword light flew towards the chain like overwhelming light. Clang clang clang. The sound of gold and iron clashing sounded. The harsh friction sound made people's scalp numb. The sword shattered and the chains disintegrated. One is that there is no going back, the other is that there is no regret when the sword comes out. Although it was a competition, the murderous intent within them penetrated to the sky. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 875. This move cannot defeat the enemy, so Su Junming clapped his palms. The Lost Soul Bell. Boom. Huangzong Dalu's voice flew forward with a powerful soul-falling force. Lishan's old mother looked condensed. The sound of falling soul. Feeling the threat of the bell, Bai Ying opened his huge mouth, and the airflow turned into a huge fog-white wave and was sucked into his mouth. The ferocious head was raised high. Next moment. Ouch! The huge roar of the tiger tore through the sky. The powerful air wave collided with the huge secret sound set off by the soul-falling bell. The sound waves that were originally qualitative and intangible became different here. A huge tiger head collided with a huge bell. Bang! A huge earthquake occurred on a sunny day, and the turbulent air waves swept across tens of thousands of miles like lightning. The spectators were all strong men in the world. Although the aftermath of this fight was strong, it was not enough to make them retreat while watching the battle from a distance. Especially Zhen Yuanzi, he didn't know what kind of magical power he had used. The air wave stopped when it reached 10 feet in front of him. Lishan Old Mother's dragon head crutch bloomed with spiritual light, like a sea-fixing needle, and there was peace within 10 feet. Compared to them, Tai Guili and others were far behind. The soul-destroying bell could not subdue the opponent. Su Junming pointed to the sky and held it flat with the other hand. 5 soul-slaying swords. Whoa, a black sword light thousands of feet long shot out. The sharp sword energy was surging, and the space was shattered wherever it passed. Haha, when it comes to playing with knives, we, the White Tiger clan, are the ancestors. Tiger Soul Divine Sword Slash. The bright sword light was like a thunder, passing through the sky. Choke. The 2 giant knives collided fiercely. It was like 2 giant black and white dragons fighting madly. Every time they collided, a large area of sword energy turned into nothingness. The madness of the fierce fighting shocked Tai Guili, Barefoot Immortal, Yan Chixia, Zhuge Liuyuan, and others. The low-level contenders are much better than Tai Golden Immortal. The 2 sides are simply not on the same level. The huge movement shocked the heaven. A huge water mirror is suspended above the Lingxiao Palace. The Jade Emperor, Li Jun, Li Jing, the heavenly king of pagodas, and others gathered here. Looking at the fierce fighting in the water mirror, everyone looked concerned. Everyone knows about the great Luo Tianxian Beiying, the ancestor of the White Tiger clan in Nanzan Buzhu. Who is this green-robed monk? The Jade Emperor asked a question that everyone was concerned about. But none of the immortal officials in the immortal court knew about it. Finally, everyone looked at Tai's Hang Lejun, who had the final say. This person's name is Su Junming, his Taoist name is Chongshan Zhenjun, and he is the founder of the Nanzan Buzhu sect Chongshan Academy. That's all he counted, nothing more. As expected, there are hidden dragons and crouching tigers in Nanzan Buzhu. In this wild land in the south, there is actually an unknown De Luo realm, the Jade Emperor said. Lao Jun frowned and didn't say much. Among the whole court, he was the only one who could tell that the true Lord Chongshan was not De Luo, but a Tai Golden Immortal. There is no need to slap the Jade Emperor in the face in public. However, this person's cultivation in the way of formation and weapon refining is extremely strong. Thousands of immortal treasures and hundreds of thousands of immortal weapons are used as formation eyes. The operation of the formation is still perfectly coordinated. It is not bad at all. It is really extraordinary. Lejun thought. In addition to the heavenly court, the Buddhas in Lingshan Mountain are also watching the battle. A De Luo level fight has never been seen in hundreds of years. Even if you just watch the battle, you can still gain a lot. Tathagata Buddha sits high, his 6-foot-long golden body is shining brightly, the Buddha's light shines all over the universe, it is extremely sacred. Below are the 4 great bodhisattvas, Mahasthamaprapta, sunlight and moonlight bodhisattvas, 18 arhats, 5 great Jialan, and 3,000 Vajra. My God, who is this man? He can actually fight with the White Tiger ancestor without losing Dajizi asked. The Tathagata calculated for a moment. This person's name is Su Junming, his Taoist name is Chongshan Zhenjun, and he is the founder of the Nanzan Buzhu sect Chongshan Academy. Continue to calculate, and get nothing more. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas were just surprised by Su Junming's strength, but Moonlight Bodhisattva was shocked. I remember that back then, I had a battle with Su Junming. Although I lost, I was only slightly behind. But now it's only 500 or 600 years since then, and the other party's cultivation has improved so much. Could it be that he didn't try his best at the beginning? This is the most reasonable explanation. In addition to heavenly court and Buddhism, all the top powers in the earthly immortal realm are watching the battle. Regardless of victory or defeat in this battle, Su Junming and his Chongshan Academy are no longer unknown. Boom. The sword energy was extinguished and turned into stars and clouds. Bai Ying roared. 3 moves have passed, now it's my turn. Roar, Tiger Soul Double Dragon Slash. The mighty sword light, like the Milky Way, flew forward with violent impact. The 2 sharp sword auras were entangled like 2 dragons, doubling their evil aura. Su Junming's seal technique changed. Endless void. In an instant, the space around the Hunyuan divine gate vibrated. Layers upon layers of space extend, and billions of miles of void light up and disappear. The flying sword light seemed to be always hundreds of feet in front of the Hunyuan divine gate, making it difficult to advance even an inch. In fact, the internal space is too large, and the sword light flew thousands of feet, but from the outside, it only made an inch. The scope of Deluo monk's spiritual control is limited. When it goes deep enough, the sword light will inevitably dissipate. Su Junming grabbed it with his right hand. Space collapses. The huge space collapsed instantly, and the huge force instantly crushed the sword light. Seeing this, Zhen Yuan's eyes flashed. I never thought that his understanding of the way of space has reached the Deluo level. Being so close, he felt it very clearly. Moreover, although he himself attained the Tao of earth and wood, he also dabbled in the Tao of space. The universe in the sleeve is the most typical application of the Tao of space. It's just that space is not his major after all. From ancient times to the present, his level is only at the early stage of Deluo, which is worse than Su Junming's current level. After today, we can have some exchanges. Seeing this, he understood that today's fight would definitely be a draw. For Bai Ying, a draw means a loss. After all, as a great Luo but unable to defeat a Tai Golden Immortal, it would be embarrassing no matter how you look at it. Knowing this, Bai Ying became more and more intense. The surging demonic energy covered hundreds of millions of miles, changed the surrounding celestial phenomena, and shook the void within millions of miles. Take another move from me. The huge mouth opened, and endless Zhengjin spiritual energy quickly gathered. The white tiger is originally a Western mythical beast, born with a body of Geng metal. It is a divine body that practices the Golden Way. At this moment, the bloodline magical power was activated, and Zhengjin spiritual energy within a radius of hundreds of millions of miles quickly gathered. In just a moment, the huge Zhengjin spiritual energy turned into a giant white ball measuring 300,000 feet. The extremely rich Zhengjin spiritual energy even enveloped the white tiger Dharma body. After condensing to the extreme, a thunderous sound sounded. Tiger soul split God slash. Boom. There was a huge earthquake in the clear sky, close to 400,000. The extremely condensed Zhengjin energy instantly turned into a million-foot giant sword. It was as powerful as a mountain and soaring as lightning, and it instantly arrived in front of Su Junming's eyes. The violent sword energy, carrying unparalleled evil energy, tore through the infinite space in an instant. Su Junming's face was solemn. Town. The power of the seal exploded, and all the space barriers instantly became several times stronger. The sword energy was flying so fast that there was nothing he could do. After the castration was over, he was instantly destroyed by the collapsed space. Bai Ying looked solemn in his eyes. He really didn't expect that even with all his strength, he still couldn't do anything to the opponent. If you can take my blow, we will be a draw. Su Junming breathed evenly. City Lord Bai, feel free to take action. Bai Ying nodded and stared at the human youth opposite, treating him as a real opponent for the first time. Taking a deep breath, the billowing fluid flew into Bai Ying's body. The divine lines on his forehead bloomed with divine light. As time passed, this divine light became stronger and stronger, and gradually spread out with an earth-shattering power. At this moment, thousands of powerful people in Buddhism, Taoism, heaven, and the world all widened their eyes. A sun seemed to appear above Bai Ying's head. It contains powerful power that can destroy heaven and earth. Sudden. His eyes were wide open, and in his amber beast eyes, there was an extremely pious and solemn look. Staring sharply ahead. Great Sumerian golden divine light. In an instant, the sky became dark and the earth lost its color. There was only a ray of light left in everyone's eyes, as if the first ray of light was born in the wilderness when the world first opened. It was pure white and flawless, but it was pregnant with the power of the sky and the earth. The light quickly broke through the endless space in front of the Hunyuan God Gate, flooding the powerful Deluo Lingbao and Su Junming standing on it. Just when everyone thought that Su Junming would definitely lose, or even die, the light weakened. The 100,000-foot blue-gray divine gate still stands there, as if it has not moved even a little bit for hundreds of millions of years. The tall figure above the divine gate still exuded a clanging aura. It's like there are thousands of giant mountains that can't be crushed by endless force. Impossible. How can it be? Bai Ying couldn't believe it, and Bai Changfeng was dumbfounded. Seeing this scene, the world was in an uproar. Lejun and Tathagata are far away and cannot see anything. But Zhen Yuanzi, who was close at hand, felt something. Is it time? Of course it's time. After the arrival of this divine light, he activated his great supernatural power to accelerate time and placed himself in the future, allowing Bai Ying's great Sumerian golden divine light to burst out naturally. Finally survived this powerful blow. Ever since he experienced the enlightenment when he broke through Tai Golden Immortal, the Tao of Time has always been the existence with the highest realm among all his Taoisms. There is only a thin line between Deluo and Deluo. Coupled with the mystery of the Tao of Time itself, he was able to safely survive the attack of Zhengjin Divine Light. Staring at the white tiger ancestor who was panting, looking tired, and having spent a lot of mana. City Lord Bai, this move has passed, I hope you will not forget the preface. Bai Ying took a deep breath and stared at the other person. How did you escape my Zhengjin Divine Light in the end? It's a confidential matter for Pandeo. I'm sorry for not telling you. Looking at the man sitting cross-legged on the Shenmen with a vague breath, Bai Ying did not dare to deny it in full view of everyone. With the thought in his heart, he collected his Dharmakaya. It was only then that Su Junming dispersed the formation and closed the Hunyuan divine sect. Be cautious, never redundant. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 876. Chapter 857, Become famous all over the world. Master. Master. Yan Shixia and Zuj Liu Yun quickly flew over, excited in their hearts and with deep reverence in their eyes. He smiled and nodded to them. After sitting for a while to comfort him, he looked at Zhen Yuanzi and others who were slowly flying towards here. Everyone, I've been waiting for a long time. Taiguai Li and Barefoot Immortal quickly returned the gift. His attitude was more than 10 times more respectful than before. This obvious change once again made Su Junming feel the importance of cultivation. The way Zhen Yuanzi and Lishan's mother looked at him also changed. The kind of condescending gaze that looks down on the younger generation is gone, and there is more sincere appreciation. You're welcome, fellow Taoist. It seems that soon, fellow Taoist will be one of my generation, Zhen Yuanzi said with a smile. I still need more support from the great immortal in the future. His attitude was respectful and peaceful, and he did not show too much complacency or even arrogance because of the draw with Bai Ying, the ancestor of the white tiger. Everyone looked at this and nodded secretly. If you have this kind of mind, you can expect great success. In fact, if possible, Su Junming also wants to be proud. But his own family knows his own affairs. If it weren't for the great formation that provided a steady stream of spiritual energy to activate the Hunyuan divine sect, he would have been beaten to the ground by the white tiger ancestor. Deluo realm and Tai realm are definitely two completely different levels. As a monk practices and becomes an immortal, he can take back the soul of the earth from the underworld and no longer enter the book of life and death. This is the first major transformation. Therefore, it is almost difficult for Yuan Shen monks to defeat Yuan Yang celestial immortal. If you achieve Deluo, you can take back your heavenly soul from the way of heaven, and your destiny will no longer be in the hands of others. This is another completely different transformation. The gap between Tai realm and Deluo realm was bigger than Yuan Shen and Ocean celestial immortal. Far away in the heaven, all the immortal officials were shocked when they saw the end of the war. The last natal magical power of Bai Ying, the ancestor of the White Tiger, is truly astonishingly powerful. Even if you just watch it in the water mirror, you can feel the overwhelming power of it to dominate the world and split the sea and the river from hundreds of millions of miles away. If it had been them, they would have been dead long ago. But the Chongshan true monarch actually took it on unscathed. Although there is a suspicion of relying on the formation, being able to block this attack and draw with a veteran Deluo Tianxian is a huge achievement in itself. The earthly immortal realm is indeed one of the 12 upper realms. It is truly a hidden dragon, and a crouching tiger. Neza saw this and thought to himself, this kind of strong man who can fight Deluo with Ether Yi is rare even in the ancient times. Looking at the steady figure in the water mirror, the Jade Emperor's eyes flashed. Tabai Jinxing. I'm here. You go to the treasure house to get 3 purple striped flat peaches, 9 red striped flat peaches, and 36 blue striped flat peaches, 3 pairs of fine jade, 18 third-turn golden elixirs, 6 sets of fine brocade, and 30 top-grade Pegasus. Take 6 horses to the lower realm and hand them over to the true Lord Chongshan to express my congratulations. According to the order. In addition, if he is determined to become an official in heaven, I would like to designate him as the great heavenly king of subduing demons and subduing tigers, and be in charge of 800,000 Tianhe navy, ranking first class. After hearing this, everyone's expressions changed. Everyone is not a fool. It is obvious that the Jade Emperor wants to take advantage of the vacancy left by Marshal Tinpeng's demotion to divide the forces of Buddhism and Taoism, and use this to recruit a strong supporter for himself. Your Majesty, no, that true monarch of Chongshan has no merit in the upper realm. If he suddenly ascends to a high position, I'm afraid the soldiers will not accept it. Li Jing, the king of the tower, said. Your Majesty, please take back your order. The 4 heavenly kings followed closely behind. After watching the fight just now, we know that if nothing else happens, Su Junming, the true lord of Chongshan, will definitely become a big player in the future. If such a person were allowed to enter the heavenly palace, he would control 800,000 Tianhe naval forces. Then the situation in heaven is bound to become more complicated. You know, Su Junming is not alone, there is Chongshan Academy behind him. If they were allowed to get involved, it would be difficult for Li Jing to take charge of the military power in heaven. King Li Tian's words are wrong. I thought that Sun Wukong was just a monster monkey in the world at first. He didn't know the time of the world, was barbaric, and even had the experience of resisting the power of heaven in private. He was still rewarded as the great sage of equal heaven, guarding the Pantao Yuan fortress. Land. Now that true Lord Chongshan is a powerful human being, he has preached to millions and is respected by people, why can't he be rewarded heavily? Could it be said that only the great demons of the demon clan can be officials of heaven? But not powerful human beings. Li Jing's expression froze. Of course he couldn't say such words that would offend the entire human race. Your Majesty, your words are wrong. Okay, he waved his hand to interrupt him. Since I have Sun Wukong's pearls in front of me, I also keep in mind what the King of Heaven said when he advised me, not to stick to one type of talent. Tabai Jinxing, you still don't accept the order. Feeling the sharp eyes of King Toda, Tabai Jinxing felt a pain in his heart, but he did not dare to disobey in front of everyone. I had to stand up. I accept the order. Far away in the great Thunder Sound Temple in the west, the atmosphere among the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas was quite silent after watching the battle. My Buddha, the last Taoist method of Su Junming, the true king of Chongshan, is extremely mysterious. It is not just some kind of magical power, Mahastamaprapta Bodhisattva asked. After Tathagata Buddha frowned and pondered for a moment, he shook his head. Across thousands of mountains and rivers, I can't know everything. However, seeing that Lord Chongshan is proficient in Huishan Dao, I think it should be the innate magical power of Huishan Dao. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas nodded in agreement. Moko Kajyapa. I am Buddha. For the next Bon festival, remember to send an invitation to Lord Chongshan. Respect the law. After Tathagata nodded, the figure slowly disappeared. As soon as he left, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas and Arhats below also left one after another. In the backyard of Dalayan Temple, under the Bodhi tree in the solitary garden, the Tathagata Dharmakaya appears. The handsome monk, who had been waiting for a long time, shrouded in Buddha's light, paid homage respectfully. Jinshanzi meets the teacher. After nodding slightly, he looked at the second disciple of Guanjian Chan's achievements with a look of approval in his eyes. Being able to become Tai Golden Immortal within 3,000 years shows that he has extraordinary qualifications. The spread of Buddhism to the East is very important to our Buddhist section. As the ancestor of all Buddhas, I should act with caution. Therefore, I want you to be reincarnated in the East and live as a mortal to endure 81 kalpas and travel thousands of years country, travel through thousands of mountains and rivers to pick up my true scriptures and spread them widely throughout the southern continents, accomplishing my great cause of Buddhism. At that time, with this great merit added to your body, you will also be able to see your true nature and become a Buddha, survive the heavenly tribulations, and achieve great results. So, are you willing? After briefly considering it, Jinshanzi nodded respectfully. His Guanjian cicada bloodline is not pure. After cultivating to Tai Golden Immortal, his body's potential has been exhausted. If he wants to take a step forward, unless he undergoes hundreds of millions of years of hard training, reincarnation is a better choice. After all, the Tao of time is too difficult to comprehend. If it weren't for his blood relationship, it would be difficult for him to achieve Tai Golden Immortal. In that case, go ahead. Disciple bids farewell to his mentor. He raised his fist and punched his chest 3 times, and a ball of glazed light flew out of his body. When the disciple returns from the catastrophe, he will come back to his mentor and perform his filial piety. Tathagata nodded, flicked his finger, and a big black hole appeared, and a cold breath and the wail of the dead came out of it. The light ball flew in instantly. Tathagata waved his left hand and the big hole disappeared. Looking at the remaining body in front of him, Tathagata clapped his hand, and a 9-foot-long giant cicada with a crystal-colored body, purple patterns on its surface, and blood-red eyes appeared in front of him. From it, one can clearly feel the rich power of time. Reaching out his hand, the giant cicada slowly shrank, fell into the palm of his hand and disappeared. The lonely garden became quiet again. Chongshan Academy. Everyone, I suddenly feel unwell, so I'm going to leave first. After Bai Ying finished speaking, he transformed into a light and left quickly without waiting for anyone to reply. After using all his methods, he, a veteran Deluo monk, ended up in a draw with a junior of Tai Golden Immortal. I've lost all my face, so I still have the nerve to stay. As soon as he left, Bai Changfeng, who was also from the White Tiger clan, couldn't stay anymore and quickly chased after him. After leaving the area where Chongshan Academy is located. Ancestor, do you really want to cede the Chili Demon Kingdom to Chongshan Academy? You think I do? But these words were said in front of Zhen Yuanzi, Old Mother Lishan, and so many immortals. Unless you want the White Tiger clan to be stigmatized for not keeping promises, otherwise the sentence we don't want to give up the Chili Demon Kingdom, but we have to give up. Bai Changfeng also understood the key, but Chili Demon Kingdom was a huge country with a land area of more than 30 million miles. Various resources are also abundant, and he would really not be willing to let them go. After thinking for a while, Bai Changfeng's eyes lit up. Ancestor, I have a plan. Even if the Chili Demon Kingdom cannot be left behind, I can still make Chongshan Academy cast a rat weapon. Bai Ying turned his head. He knew that this junior had always been a bit quick-witted. Say it. Yes. To the east of the Chili Demon Kingdom is the Wushan Demon Kingdom. These guys were originally quite respectful, but since they took refuge in Buddhism thousands of years ago and became the 8 tribes of heavenly dragons, they have become more domineering and have begun to defy our 10,000 beast mountains. It's better to give the Chili Demon Kingdom to them. With their arrogant nature, they will never let go of such a good opportunity to expand their strength. Of course Chongshan Academy will not give them a big country that is 340 billion miles away, so there will be a battle between the two sides. No matter who wins or loses in the end, it will be in our favor. Bai Ying nodded thoughtfully. If Chongshan Academy wins, the Wushan Demon Kingdom, whose strength has been greatly weakened, will no longer dare to resist the orders of Wanchao Mountain. What if the Black God Demon Kingdom wins? Bai Ying shook his head. Unless Tathagata, Maitreya Buddha, or Zen Master Wuchao takes action, there is absolutely no chance that the Wushan Demon Kingdom will win. Even if these 3, except for Tathagata, the remaining 2 are similar in strength to him, unless Su Junming leaves the jurisdiction of Chongshan and loses the protection of the Great Formation, it will be an invincible outcome. You're still smart, just do it like this. I'm going to the Crow God Demon Kingdom right away. Bai Ying nodded. Looking at Bai Changfeng's back as he walked away happily, he sighed secretly. Although the strategy is good, it cannot change the shortcomings of insufficient power on our own side. If Su Junming had been defeated earlier, why would he have been in so much trouble? Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 877. The mountain behind the central peak of Dongtian, Chongshan Academy, Dengzhou Shangyuan. Su Junming sits in the center, with immortals such as Zhen Yuanzi, Lishan Laomu, Taiguai Li on the left, and Chongshan disciples such as Yan Chixia, Zhuge Liuyuan, and others on the right. If I read it correctly, what Taoist friend finally used should be the magical power of the Tao of Time, Zhen Yuanzi asked. As soon as this statement came out, everyone was shocked. After watching the fight just now, everyone knows that Su Junming is proficient in the Hushan Dao and the Heart and Soul Dao. Although I was surprised by his talent, being able to use the Tai Golden Immortal to become the Deluo Tianxian in fighting skills is a first-rate genius in itself. It is understandable that the understanding is amazing. But since the beginning of time, countless calamities and billions of years have passed, and there have been as many talented people as the ministers crossing the river. I have never heard of someone who can practice both time and space. At that time, Taoist ancestor Hung Jun preached 3,000 Taoist teachings, but he did not have much exposure to the Tao of Time. It is indeed the way of time, but it is not me who realizes it, but this treasure. The left palm spread out, and the Hunyuan divine sect, which had previously bloomed with infinite divine power, appeared in everyone's eyes. This treasure was obtained by accident when I traveled around Kungsu. The 4 divine patterns on it are in line with the 4 paths of time, space, seal, and heart and soul. It integrates offense and defense, and has endless magical uses. Kungsu is the void outside the earthly immortal realm. The monks in the earthly immortal realm call this void Kungsu. I see, it's a chance for friendship. Zhen Yuanzi smiled faintly. Although he didn't really believe it, he wouldn't directly refute it with so many people. Fellow Taoist, it will be another 60 years before the Yuntai Immortal meeting begins. I wonder if you will participate, Old Mother Lishan said. There are 5 major events in the earthly immortal realm. They are the Bone Society of Buddhism, the Yuntai Immortal Society of Taoism, the Peach Fairy Society of Heaven, the Celestial Demon Conference of the Demon Clan, and the Witch God Conference of the Witch Clan. The purpose of the 5 major gatherings is to exchange Taoism, exchange what you have, and occasionally compare skills. Among the 5 major events, the Bon Bon Fair, the Yuntai Fairy Fair and the Peach Fairy Fair have the greatest influence. The Pan-Tao Immortal Association has the highest standards and invites powerful figures from all over the 3 realms. Being invited is a status symbol. But the Peach Fairy Club is just about eating and drinking, which doesn't mean much. On the contrary, in the Bone Society and the Yuntai Immortal Society, there are powerful Buddhist and Taoist lectures every year. Hundreds of Buddhist and Taoist sects communicate with each other, which is very lively. If we can get the invitation, as a member of the Taoist lineage of Chongshan Academy, we will naturally not fall behind others, Su Junming said. I believe that after today's battle, Yuntai Immortal Sect will never ignore the noble section. Yuntai Immortal Sect is the first sect of Dongsheng Shenzhou. It is rumored that it is the inheritance of Yun Zongzi, a disciple of Yuanqi Tianzun in Zongnan Mountain. In the records of the earthly immortal realm that Su Junming had read, Yun Zongzi's clone ascended away 30,000 years after he opened the Yuntai Immortal Sect. However, Yuntai Immortal Sect has always been prosperous and dominated Dongsheng Shenzhou. Su Junming nodded and said to Zhen Yuanzi, I have heard for a long time that the great immortal's Taoism is profound. Today I am honored to see his face. I wonder if you can give a sermon to us. It's all right. However, the old Taoist is also very interested in Taoist friend Huishan Taoism. You and I can communicate a little. I have my wish but dare not ask for my ear. Zhen Yuanzi is proficient in the art of civil engineering and has a profound realm. He can explain it in a simple and profound way, which is of great benefit to people. Although Huishan's way is not the fundamental way, it still has its own unique insights, which makes Su Junming very happy. Later, Mrs. Lishan and others also joined in. A sermon lasted for 3 months, and then Su Junming accompanied the immortals to visit the states and counties under Chongshan Academy, the bustling markets, the education that has been extended to everyone, the current situation of national practice, and the development of prosperous puppet machine skills, which is definitely different from other countries, are an eye-opener for everyone. This tour lasted 6 years. With Zhen Yuanzi here, Su Junming had to accompany him in person. 6 years later, after sending everyone away, I finally had some free time. Of course, a lot has happened in these 6 years. Su Junming handled it with his clone, but there was no delay. Are you really planning to accept the Jade Emperor's reward? Tai Zhenjun asked. Why not? The Jade Emperor has decided to get closer to the demon section. The Buddhist and Taoist forces in the Immortal Court are at odds with each other. You have nothing to do. Why are you getting involved? Is it just for the 800,000 Tianhe Navy? The immortal soldiers in the heaven are not actually the immortals who have been cultivated, but the elite soldiers of the human dynasty died in battle. Their souls were taken away by the heaven, and their bodies were reshaped through the immortal pool, and then they became immortal soldiers. They will also practice, and the best among them will continue to increase their positions and power as their cultivation improves. Therefore, the 800,000 Tianhe Navy is not as valuable as imagined. 800,000 Tianhe Navy is nothing, but by mastering this power, we have a foothold in the heaven, and can monitor the center of the earth and immortal world in an honest and fair manner. After a pause, Su Junming's eyes flashed. Furthermore, since the Jade Emperor intends to win over me and contain Li Jing, the King of Towers, he will definitely not refuse if I submit a report to increase the number of Tianhe Navy. Tai Zhenjun nodded. Although the Jade Emperor is just a puppet of Buddhism and Taoism, he is in the end the supreme being of heaven and earth with considerable power. Even in some small matters, Buddhism and Taoism will not confront him. Li Jing and Wang Lingguan have hundreds of millions of heavenly soldiers in their hands. Unless you increase the strength of the Tianhe Navy to tens of millions, they won't be of much use. Soldiers are more expensive than finesse, and I don't intend to fight for hegemony in the heavens. Why do I need so many soldiers? It's up to you. Anyway, you have many clones, so it's up to you how you want to play. Tai Genjun waved his hand. Are you almost over the tribulation? Tai Genjun nodded. I have already felt the pressure of the catastrophe, but I plan to stay stable for a few more years. De Luo Tianji, you really should act with caution. Su Junming took a step forward. I'm leaving, you can practice well by yourself. Watching his retreating back, Tai Genjun curled his lips and sat down cross-legged. He has not gone to Hunyuan Zhenmen again. Now his mana and realm are sufficient. What he lacks is just a little opportunity. After meeting Tabai Jinxing, we came all the way to Nantianmen and went straight into the Lingxiao Palace. As a celebrity who has become popular in heaven recently, countless immortal officials and heavenly soldiers all responded with scrutinizing eyes along the way. Come to Tongming Hall. True Lord, please wait here, I will report. After Su Junming nodded, Tabai Jinxing left in a hurry. It didn't take long before the summons came. Under the leadership of the two golden armored guards, in addition to the Tongming Palace, they saw the Lingxiao Palace lying high above the heavy clouds. It was thousands of feet wide and hundreds of feet high. It was magnificent, surrounded by auspicious clouds, and extremely majestic. Although I had seen it no less than 100 times when I was hiding in the heaven, it was never as intuitive and profound as when I walked on the royal road in person and looked directly at the center of the heaven. Climb the steps and cross the huge gate. 4 huge golden dragon pillars came into view. On both sides of the golden pillar are the heavenly generals wearing helmets and armor, and the immortal officials with high crowns and broad belts. Following the Danbai in the middle, you can see the majestic Emperor of Heaven in the center, shrouded in a haze of fairy light, wearing a 9-dragon robe and a flat crown on his head. The Supreme Emperor opens the sky, holds the talisman, and the calendar contains the true body, the Golden Palace, the Cloud Palace, the 9-domed Palace, the Imperial Calendar, and the 10,000 roads. The Great Road of Inaction, the Bright Palace, the Haoshan Golden Palace, the Supreme Jade Emperor, who forgives sins, the Great Heavenly Lord, and the Sky High God. Also known as the Jade Emperor. I didn't expect him to be there. I saw Tai's Hanglejun standing in the first place on the left, wearing a bagua apricot yellow Taoist robe, with a bun on his head, a long beard on his chin, and an immortal air. Su Junming was secretly surprised. After simply sorting out his thoughts, he took a big step forward, and amidst countless scrutinizing and doubtful eyes, he came to His Majesty Dan and bowed to salute. Su Junming, the true Lord of Chongshan from the San people in the lower realm, meets the great heavenly Lord, the Jade Emperor and the High God. True Lord, you don't need to be so polite, just get back on your feet. Thank you, Your Majesty. The day before yesterday, I watched the true king fight with Bai Ying, the ancestor of the White Tiger clan in the lower realm, and they were evenly matched, which made me admire him. The Tai Golden Immortal fought against the De Luo Tianxian, and I was even more surprised by the true king's courage and magic power. That's why I ordered Tabai Jinxing to go down to the lower realm to comfort me, and to recruit the true king to the upper realm, so that the capable and wise men would not be left in the wilderness. Su Junming's humble skills are so appreciated by His Majesty. I deeply feel that I can only be loyal to the king and work diligently to repay His Majesty's courtesy. Although I don't know whether this statement is true or not, publicly showing allegiance in front of so many people really made the Jade Emperor happy. Just as he was about to speak, Li Jing, the king of Tower Towers, unexpectedly jumped in front. Since the true king is grateful for Your Majesty's kindness, why did he use his avatar to appear in court? In my opinion, he is clearly contemptuous of the power of heaven and should be severely punished. Su Junming stood with his hands behind his back, not even looking at him. Since Taixin surrendered to the Jade Emperor, of course he had to draw a clear line with Li Jing. Li Jing, who was despised in public, was furious. You. All right. The Jade Emperor interrupted him. Su Zhenjun had a fight with Ancestor White Tiger, and although it was a draw, he must have been seriously injured. I am in seclusion and sent my clone here. It is understandable. The King of Heaven does not need to be picky. His Majesty. I conferred the title of Great Power of the Lower Realm, Chongshan True Monarch Su Junming, as the great heavenly king who subdues dragons and subdues tigers. He is in the first rank and is in charge of 800,000 Tianhe naval forces. He has jurisdiction over 300 million miles around the Tianhe River. Thank you, Your Majesty. I will work hard at night and day, and be diligent in the king's affairs. There is only one thing for which I would like Your Majesty's permission. My dear, please tell me. The Tianhe River is vast, stretching hundreds of billions of miles, and it is really difficult for the 800,000 Tianhe Navy to control such a vast area. Therefore, I ask for Your Majesty's permission to expand the Tianhe Navy by 3 million to be able to control such a vast area. Place. No, Your Majesty. The Tianhe River is deep in the heavens. There are only a few young people stealing water vapor and there are no big enemies. 800,000 naval troops are enough. Any more would be a waste. Li Jing was still the first to jump out. But this time it wasn't just him, the four marshals also followed closely behind. The Taoist generals looked at Wang Lingguan, who hesitated and looked at Lao Jun. Seeing that the old man's eyes were slightly closed, as if he was asleep, Wang Lingguan hesitated before stepping out. Chongshan Academy is still a Taoist sect, and Su Junming is also a Taoist. Although he clearly turned to the Jade Emperor, who knows what's going on behind the scenes. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 878. Chapter 859, 3 Saints, 4 Kings, and 36 Generals. Your Majesty, I think what King Su Tian said is reasonable and reasonable. The 800,000 Tianhe navy is indeed not enough to control Tianhe. As soon as these words came out, the whole hall was shocked. Wang Lingguan is the leader of the Taoist heavenly generals. Although his prestige is not as good as that of Li Jing, his strength is profound and outstanding. The heavenly soldiers under his command are even more elite in heaven. As soon as he opened his mouth, the other Taoist generals supported him one after another. Soon the heavenly court was divided into two factions, with the Buddhist opposition and the Taoist support. But it happened that Taoist support made the Jade Emperor suspicious. Could it be that by wooing Su Junming and strengthening his strength, he would actually increase the power of the Taoist sect? But if the other party really relies on me, but I reject his proposal to expand the army, wouldn't it mean that I lose a chess piece that I can rely on? The suspicious Jade Emperor swayed from side to side and pondered for a moment. Deep in the Tianhe, deep in the heavens, you can't hear the sound of war drums, so you really don't need too many soldiers. But the Tianhe is vast, and the 800,000 heavenly soldiers are indeed too few. Let's do this. 3 million will be reduced to 2 million. The required soldiers will be allocated by the Heavenly Arms Hall, and the weapons and armor will be purchased by the Ordnance Department. Although 3 million has been reduced to 2 million, the number is still quite large including the original 800,000. After some training, it is also a big force. Thank you, Your Majesty. I obey your order. Su Junming said respectfully. Li Jing, the king of Tota, understood that with the support of Wang Lingguan and the approval of the Jade Emperor, he could not change the outcome even if he did not want to. After getting down to business, the Jade Emperor was about to announce the disbandment of the dynasty. Lao Jun, who had been keeping his eyes closed and silent, suddenly opened his eyes, and two sharp eyes were directed at Su Junming. Fellow Taoist Su, are you proficient in the secret arts? A small achievement, Su Junming said. No wonder I can't figure out your past. It seems like you concealed the secret yourself. Su Junming nodded. He concealed the secrets of heaven with the accompanying bronze mirror. The mystery of this treasure is 100 times more mysterious than the broken bronze sword in his hand. It is even on top of the Tai Chi diagram and the Qian Kun Ding seen in the Qian Kun cave. It shows how powerful it is. After all, Tai's Hang Lejun is not a taking Taoist, nor is he a saint who just sits and watches the wind and clouds and has gone through countless calamities. After taking one last look at him, Lao Jun gradually disappeared. The Jade Emperor announced the dissolution of the dynasty. Taibei Jinxing took Su Junming to the Tianhe Navy camp to announce the decree. Fellow Taoist Li, can you tell me the general situation of the Tianhe Navy? The king is polite. Li Changgen naturally knows everything about such trivial matters. After organizing my words, the Tianhe Navy, in addition to the commander, has 3 saints, 4 kings, and 36 generals under its command. The great sage of Tiangang, the great sage of Hunyuan, the great sage of Four Eyes, the 9 heaven-killing boy king, Gao Diao Bayern God Heavenly King, the long-headed giant beast Heavenly King, and the mighty sword God King, all 7 of them are Tai realm great masters. Tianhe Kiju. 36 will be the Yuan Yang Golden Immortal, in charge of 36 lakes. There is not only one Tianhe in the heaven, Kiju is the other 7 rivers in the heaven that merge into the Tianhe. The 3 saints and 4 kings command 400,000 Tianhe Navy troops, and the 36 generals command 300,000 Tianhe Navy troops. The Tianhe Navy camp located in Tianpeng Mountain is guarded by 100,000 Tianhe Navy troops. In other words, the only troops I can mobilize are these 100,000 Navy troops. Li Changgang smiled. With the true king's methods, we will definitely be able to subjugate the 3 saints, 4 kings, and 36 generals. Moreover, the great heavenly Lord has given permission to the heavenly king to expand his army by 2 million. 2 million versus 700,000, the outcome is known. Su Junming is not a fool. 700,000 heavenly soldiers and generals who have been practicing for many years are more powerful than tens of millions of newcomers who have just arrived in heaven. But he was right about one thing. It is easy to subdue these so-called 3 saints, 4 kings, and 36 generals with one's own means. Tianpeng Mountain is a large mountain located in the Tianhe River. It is 3,000 feet high. Although it is not towering, it has an aura of awe-inspiringness on this flat Milky Way. Tianpeng Mountain is nourished by the air of the water, and the vegetation is lush and full of vitality. Military camps one after another extend upward along the mountain. At the top is a magnificent house with 5 entrances to the front and 3 to the left and right, occupying the entire top of the mountain. At first glance, it looks a bit like a mortal palace. But it was shrouded in a fairy light, and the atmosphere was extraordinary. The 2 men lowered the cloud light, and the guarding soldiers saw it and quickly bowed and saluted. See Immortal Taibei. Get up. Zhang Tongzi, is Li Tongpuan here? Here, busy in the mansion. Where are the 4 generals Xian, Qian, Wu, and Zhao? 4 generals are leading troops in the camp. Hurry up and inform them so that they can come to the palace to pay homage to the King of Heaven. Yes. The soldier glanced at Su Junming. Ever since the last Marshal Tianpeng molested Fairy Chang'e and was demoted to earth, the Marshal's mansion has been vacant for nearly 100 years. Now it finally has a new owner. King of Heaven, shall we go in? Su Junming nodded and walked in. Entering the door is a large hall. Although it is far inferior to the Lingxiao Palace, it is still extraordinary. Stepping in, there is a large tiger skin chair at the innermost side of the hall, which is more than 10 acres in size. 3 and 4 from the left, each with 7 chairs. King of Heaven, please take a seat. Su Junming was not polite and walked up directly and sat down. However, although the tiger skin under his butt is good, it makes him look like a reckless mountain king, without any trace of immortality. As soon as his heart moved, he put it away. Taibei Jinxing sat down on the first chair on the left. Not long after, two streams of light flew in. Two immortal officials wearing civil official robes appeared on the ground. The one on the left is wearing a black robe, with thick eyebrows, big eyes, and a darker complexion. The one on the right is wearing a green robe, with a tall and thin figure, slanted eyebrows at the temples, and a tall green nose, which makes him look a bit cold. First, they glanced at Su Junming, who was sitting on the main seat, and the two of them bowed and saluted. "See Immortal Taibei. Both of you, please stand up. Let me introduce you. This is the great heavenly king of subduing demons and subduing tigers, personally designated by the great heavenly lord. He is a first-rank official and the true lord of Chongshan, Su Junming. He will command the 800,000 Tianhe navy in the future. In addition, the great heavenly lord has approved the instructions of the heavenly king, and will expand the 800,000 Tianhe navy to 2 million. Their expressions changed and they were overjoyed. The larger the scale of the Tianhe naval army is, the more their power will inevitably increase. Why don't you two come to meet the new master soon? I know Zhang Yao and I know Li Wei, and I see the King of Heaven." Su Junming nodded. "Both of you, please get up. King of Heaven, among the Tianhe navy, Zhang Yao is in charge of the financial affairs of Hu Cao, and Li Wei is in charge of military discipline and prison. In addition, there are 4 generals, Xinu, Qian Liao, Wu Fei, and Zhao Guang, who are in charge of Tianpeng Mountain's 100,000 navy." While he was talking, 4 rays of light flew in. After being introduced by Taibei Jinxing, Xinu was a tall man with a fiery temper, Qian Liao was a thin man with a cold complexion. Wu Fei is of medium height and handsome, Zhao Guang is fat and smiling. Looking at them, Su Jun clearly understood that these 6 people and the 100,000 Tianhe naval forces they controlled were the only forces he could mobilize at the moment. After Taibei Jinxing introduced Su Junming to everyone, he left. "As you know, the great heavenly lord has given permission for our Tianhe navy to expand to 2 million troops. However, how to distribute the 2 million troops and who is more and who is less? He asked me to discuss with the 3 saints, 4 kings, and 36 generals. Zhang Yao, my subordinate, is here. Bang the immortal gathering drum to summon everyone to come to Tianpeng Mountain to discuss matters." As commanded. I had just paid a visit to the new master, and I was unsure of his temper and the power behind him. No one dared to make random suggestions. After respectfully complying with the order, I went down. "You all go down and rest. We will summon you again when everyone is gathered." As commanded. Looking at their leaving figures, Su Junming smiled faintly. Several spiritual talismans were revealed in the open left palm. With lightning speed, it was instantly submerged into several people's bodies. This talisman was the 4-elephant god sealing talisman that he used to secretly control the 7 saints. These people were not as good as Yuan Yang Golden Immortal or Xian Immortal, so naturally they couldn't discover his handiwork. It doesn't matter which sect you belong to, or which force you belong to, as long as you have planted my 4-elephant divine talisman, you will all be my loyal dogs in less than 100 years. As he advanced to the great Luo realm with his understanding of the way of time and the way of heart and soul, the 4 symbols conferring God talisman became more and more wonderful. Before you know it, you can turn your mind around and surrender to the Lord of the Soul. However, this kind of talisman requires a lot of materials, is difficult to refine, and cannot be used on a large scale. Boom! 1 Ruyi fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. Li Jing was furious and his face was ashen. Ever since he became the king of Tota and took charge of the military power of heaven, he had never been ridiculed like this. Damn it, Shu Ziyan dares to bully me. Neza stood aside, too lazy to pay attention to him. But the four heavenly kings who came together quickly stepped forward to comfort him. King of heaven, calm down. That Su Junming entered the heavenly court for the first time, and his foundation is not strong. Although he has some cultivation, he is just an ordinary man's bravery and is nothing to worry about, King Zhengzheng advised. That's right. That day, the four-eyed Great Sacred Division of the Heshui Army, the division of King Jushan Shaitong, the division of Gao Diao Bai Weng Shen Tianwang, and the 13 generals among the 36 generals were all our Buddhist forces. So Su Junming also counts as the master of the Tianhe Water Army. You are destined to be unable to control the entire Tianhe army, King Shizhou said. The heavenly king should remember that the ordnance department is under the jurisdiction of Lord Lei Xianxing, who is a registered disciple of my Buddhist Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. All I need from the heavenly king is to explain that Su Junming only has soldiers and no armor to discipline him, said the heavenly king Guangmu. Li Jing's eyes lit up instantly. Just do this, and then I will turn Su Junming's 2 million army into 2 million mud-legged soldiers. To avoid being blamed by the Jade Emperor, the heavenly king still needs to retreat to practice Taoism, Duoan heavenly king said. Haha, that's it? All 5 people laughed. Neza looked at it with disdain on his face. In the midst of power, they are also blinded by power. For practitioners, cultivation is the first priority. Su Junming, as a Tai Golden Immortal, could even fight against Deluo Tianxian, which shows that his cultivation and magic power are far above everyone else. Even if you can suppress him for a while with your power, he will advance to Deluo in the future. In the entire heaven, except Lejun, who can check and balance. At that time, let alone a mere soldier, even an army of tens of millions will be able to defeat them with just a raise of their hands. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 879. Chapter 860, Wushen Demon Kingdom, Black Water Black Snake. Looking south to Buzhu. The Wushen Demon Kingdom is the largest of the nearly 1,000 demon kingdoms under the 10,000 Beasts Mountain. This is a transition dominated by snake demons, especially the royal family, which is a black water black snake that is rare among snakes and is very powerful. Therefore, it occupies a vast area of 400 billion miles around. There are 3 great kings in the entire Wushen Demon Kingdom. Their names are King Wujiao, King Wulin, and King Wuifeng. These 3 snake kings are all powerful beings in the Tai Golden Immortal realm. Among them, King Wujiao is the strongest and is already a late-stage Tai Golden Immortal. He was also the one who advocated joining Buddhism in the beginning. Now, there are nearly 500 snake demons in the entire Wushen Demon Kingdom, joining Mohulugia among the 8 heavenly dragons. The support of Buddhism is also the reason why they dare to obey the instructions of Wanshao Mountain but not the propaganda. However, the order that suddenly came from 10,000 Beast Mountain put them in trouble. Eldest brother, second brother, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what the reason is. Since Wanshao Mountain has handed over the Chili Demon Kingdom to us, we can take possession of it. Even if there is any trouble, it is the order of Wanshao Mountain. If it really doesn't work, isn't it still possible? Buddhism. What are you afraid of? King Wuifeng said. Third brother, please don't be reckless. If we listen to the instructions but not the announcement, Wanshao Mountain has long been dissatisfied. If it were not for the support of Buddhism, I am afraid that our 3 brothers would have fled to the end of the world at this moment. Under such circumstances, Wanshao Mountain still treats Chili Demon Kingdom as if you give this big piece of fat to us, there must be some fraud in it, King Wulin said. What the second brother said is true. It's a pity that the spies we sent out have never found any useful information, King Wujiao sighed. Although the battle between Su Junming and the White Tiger ancestor shocked the world, it was limited to those top forces with Deluo monks and the means to monitor the world. As for the medium-sized forces like the Wushen Demon Kingdom, they are hundreds of billions of miles apart, so of course they don't know. Eldest brother, second brother, what if we continue to wait? One Beast Mountain sees that we have no movement, and gives up the Chili Demon Kingdom to the Baishan Demon Kingdom. Baishan Demon Kingdom is also a neighboring country of Chili Demon Kingdom, and its strength is much stronger than Wushan Demon Kingdom and Chili Demon Kingdom. King Wujiao pondered for a moment. Let's do this. Third child, you first bring 3 million demon soldiers and capture the Chili Demon Kingdom. If you encounter a big force, retreat quickly. Remember not to be reluctant to fight. Big brother, don't worry, little brother understands. Wu Feng flew out happily. Watching him leave, third brother is impulsive and stubborn. What if we cause trouble? It's better to let him suffer a little, so as not to cause him trouble all the time. As for the danger, don't worry. With the strength of the third brother, even if he can't be beaten, he can still escape. King Wu Lin nodded. Except for 10,000 Beast Mountain, there are basically no powerful forces around. With the cultivation level of his third brother Tai Jingxian, even if he cannot defeat him, he can still escape. In this way, Wu Feng ordered 3 million demon soldiers from the Wushan Demon Kingdom, rode on the clouds and mist, and crossed the Dangyun mountain border between the Chili Demon Kingdom and the Wushan Demon Kingdom at lightning speed. 3 kings, come forward to report. I didn't see the Chili army from the Chili Demon Kingdom. Send more spies. If there is any trouble, report it immediately. Yes. The demon general transformed into a golden eagle and soared into the sky. Although Wu Feng advocated taking over the Chili Demon Kingdom first, he was not a fool and knew that there was no such thing as a wasted lunch. Therefore, I scattered all the scouts I had along the way. Even if he encounters an enemy ambush, he can calmly set up his formation. If it doesn't work, there is still time to escape. Unexpectedly, except for some little demons, the entire demon clan in the Chili Demon Kingdom disappeared completely. Cities large and small were empty, and everything that could be taken away was taken away. Even the formations on the city disappeared. There is only a pile of bare earth and rocks left here. It seems that the demon clan of Chili Demon Kingdom has really moved away. Think briefly. Go down with the order. Leave 1 battalion to guard, and the rest of the army will only take Chili City. The demons responded with a roar. The speed has sped up a lot. The mountains and rivers were constantly being left behind, and gradually, a huge city spread out on a huge plain, covering an area of tens of millions of acres, appeared in front of them. Chili City, the country of Chili Demon Kingdom. Wu Feng looked happy, and just when he was giving the order to prepare for the entire army to move in, a white cloud suddenly appeared on the horizon in the distance. Report. A bolt of golden lightning flew over, and a monster wearing leather armor and a bird's head and human body appeared on the ground. Report to the 3 kings that there are human warriors advancing from the front. Their number is no less than 5 million. What? Wu Feng was shocked. Where did the human soldiers come from? Look at the flag as Chongshan Academy. Chongshan Academy. Exactly. Wu Feng suddenly remembered that there was indeed such a human sect in the south of the Chili Demon Kingdom. It was rumored that the disciples of this sect were very powerful. The Chili Demon Kingdom fought against it several times, but they were all defeated and fled. Why are they here? Could it be that they also discovered the emptiness of the Chili Demon Kingdom and wanted to take advantage of it? If we investigate again, we must find out why they are here. Yes. Scouts rose into the sky. Instruct all demon soldiers to form formations to meet the enemy. Dong dong dong. The earth-shattering war drums resounded throughout the countryside. In addition to the demon soldiers who stayed behind to guard the city, there were still 2.4 million demon soldiers from the Crow God Demon Kingdom. They quickly stopped advancing and formed a long snake formation under the leadership of their respective leaders. More than 2 million demon soldiers spread out, stretching for thousands of miles, and the mighty demon clouds covered the sky and the sun. At the same time, south of Chile City, a white cloud quickly grew in size. After half an hour, the white clouds had filled the sky. In the mighty Luck, war boats with a length of 100 feet formed a cone-shaped array, covering the sky. Each war boat was filled with human soldiers wearing helmets and armor. They were imposing and well organized. They were obviously elites who had been trained for a long time. The war boats seemed to have been carefully placed, and the gaps in the front, rear, left and right of each boat were very similar. Liu Feng looked at this army full of evil spirits, especially those weird war boats, with a solemn expression. Each of these bronze war boats is a Yuanyang immortal weapon. Although a single ship may not be very impressive, nearly 3,000 Yuanyang immortal weapon hedgehogs gathered together are astonishing. What's more, there is also a Tai immortal treasure level battle boat that is 1,000 feet long and has a significantly more powerful aura, and its power is even more powerful. Compared with them, the well-trained demon soldiers under his command, armed with all kinds of weapons, looked like beggars. Just as Liu Feng was examining the opponent, a bronze war boat came out of the formation. A mighty sound sounded from the war boat. Listen to the demon army in front. The Chile demon kingdom has been ceded to me by the White Tiger city of 10,000 Beasts Mountain to Chongshan Academy. If you don't want the two countries to fight, please retreat quickly. If not, after a stick of incense, we will kill without mercy. Liu Feng was shocked. What? The Chile demon kingdom was ceded to Chongshan Academy by 10,000 Beast Mountain. Three great kings, I think these human races are just bluffing. Wanchao Mountain is a top clan with De Luo monks in charge. Although Chongshan Academy has a somewhat weak reputation in this southern land, how can it compare with Wanchao Mountain? I will see that the Chile demon kingdom is empty, and they want to trick us into leaving so that they can swallow this piece of fat alone, a tall and thin-spotted snake demon said. Piaban is right. Three great kings, we must not fall into the human race's tricks. They are the best at talking, a monster with a leopard head and a human body advised. For a moment, the crowd of monsters in the handsome tent was full of chaos, and no one wanted to retreat. Forget it, let's weigh their weight and then make a plan. After Liu Feng hesitated for a moment, he made up his mind. The three great kings are wise. At the same time, in the middle of the war boat where the hedgehogs gathered together, there was a towering ship with a size of 3,000 feet at the top. Yu Fei, wearing a helmet and fluttering armor, sat in the central command position. On the left are 6 direct disciples including Zhang Xian, Yang Zixing, Han Shizhong, Meng Gong, Wu Ji, and Yu Yunwen. On the left are 18 named disciples including Wang Gui, Wei Sheng, Lu Qi, Niu Gao, Sun Ji, Dong Xian, and Wang Jian. Among the Yu family army, Yu Fei, as the third oldest, has the strongest military strategy and is also the best at cultivating generals who are accustomed to fighting. The 6 direct disciples and 18 disciples are all outstanding among the generals under Chongshan Academy. Therefore, he was still in charge this time. Report. A messenger ran in. Report to the Commander-in-Chief, Generals, the army of the Wushan Demon Kingdom is still blocking our army in front and has no intention of retreating. That's great, I'm afraid they'll run away, Meng Gong said excitedly. After holding it in for 100 years, we finally got a big fight, Wang Gui said happily. Commander, give the order. Our troops are willing to be the vanguard, Wei Sheng said. Commander, please send my front army to fight. I am willing to issue a military order and swear not to return the demon army until it is defeated, Han Shizhong said with fists in his hands. All the generals asked for battle one after another, and their morale was high. Yu Fei was naturally happy. After waving his hands, the generals fell silent. In today's battle, there is no front army or rear army. 1,000 Yuanyang war boats are the left wing, 1,000 Yuanyang war boats are the right wing, 800 war boats are trailing behind, and 200 Tai war boats are the core. Set up the 3 talents penetrating mountain formation and smash the demon army on the opposite side to me in one fell swoop. Your order. The generals prepare their own preparations. Dong dong, the earth-shattering war drums sounded, and the murderous spirit soared into the sky. The huge war boat slowly mobilized. The war boat is a masterpiece created more than 1,000 years ago since the establishment of Chongshan Academy, and it is a real killing weapon. With Su Junming's ability in refining weapons, he has only been able to build 12,000 Yuanyang war boats and 1,000 Tai war boats so far. With these war boats, the Chongshan Academy army is invincible. He destroyed demon kingdoms one after another and brought large tracts of territory under his control. When the armies of both sides were preparing for the battle, tens of thousands of feet above, 2 beautiful female monks looked down at the army gathered together at their feet. "Master, don't we go down and help senior brother Yu?" Li Yingsheng asked. "No need, with your senior brother Yu's ability as a commander, combined with 3,000 war boats, even tens of millions of demon troops can't stop him." Su Huang shook his head. "She is here just to protect her from unexpected dangers. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes." Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 880. Chapter 861, Tai Attains Enlightenment, The Great Luo Heavenly Tribulation, Part 1. Start the war. Start the war. The commanders of both sides issued orders at the same time. In an instant, the situation within a radius of 30,000 miles from Chili City changed. The black demonic cloud and the white magic power are like 2 huge beasts, grinning, just waiting for a command. They will pounce on each other and devour each other. Hiss. Accompanied by a huge snake cry, a gigantic giant snake with a black body and a head as big as a mountain appeared in the rolling demon cloud. Boom. A huge earthquake filled the sky. 3,000 warships turned into a huge trident, 3,000-foot warships served as the vanguard, and Yufei's ship served as the core. The violent killing energy stirred up the storm. Kill. The 2 sides, who had saved up to the extreme, ran towards each other without hesitation. The huge force exploded the air, and with the stubborn power to destroy mountains and divide seas and rivers, they collided fiercely. Boom. The billowing air waves swept across thousands of miles. The 10,000-foot-long black snake was chopped into 3 pieces by the sharp trident almost instantly. Hundreds of thousands of monsters died instantly. What? King Wuifeng's eyes widened instantly, his face full of disbelief. In the past, he led the demon soldiers and used a long snake formation to confront the enemy. He had never been beaten so badly in the first round. No matter how shocked the enemy was, Yufei broke through the enemy's formation immediately. Huge war drums, 1 long and 3 short, spread in all directions. The mighty trident instantly turned into 200 arrows, a 1,000-foot arrow, with the Tai battle boat as the core. Wherever it passed, countless demon soldiers were instantly killed and injured. Rolling demon blood dyed the sky red, and the demon corpse turned into its original form and rolled down. Like chopping melons and vegetables, the elite army of the Wushan demon kingdom was defeated. Whether it's training or equipment, they are far behind Chongshan Academy. The nationwide practice allowed Chongshan Academy to cultivate enough weapon refiners, and Su Junming, a master of weapon refiners, was pioneering the front line. It was transformed into the extraordinary combat power of the Chongshan Academy army. Hiss. Wuifeng, who was extremely angry, instantly changed into his true form. A giant snake with a length of several thousand feet, black body and green eyes appeared in mid-air. The huge mouth opened, and countless white air flows flew into the mouth. Next moment, the billowing wind turned into an air column with a diameter of several hundred feet, flying forward with a frightening tearing sound. Yufei saw this, grabbed the Liquan divine spear and prepared to block the snake monster. But before he could take action, a mysterious voice sounded in his ears. "You just command the army to destroy the demon soldiers, Leave it to me. Yes, uncle. A magnificent divine light of ice and snow descended from the sky, and the tyrannical wind pillar was swept away before it bloomed. Wu Feng was startled and looked up subconsciously. In the majestic sky, two figures, one white and one purple, appeared in the eyes. The purple figure is nothing more than Tai Suangxian's cultivation level. But the woman in white with an icy air was actually a Tai golden immortal like him. Hiss! Wu Feng hissed angrily, and three full moon scimitars suddenly appeared beside him. The sword flashed, and the billowing wind turned into wind pillars all over the sky. Thousands of wind pillars rose into the sky like an overwhelming force. Su Huang saw it with contempt in his eyes. Little tricks. As his heart moved, the eye-soul divine light expanded instantly, occupying half the sky in the blink of an eye. With a volley of brushes, the sky is instantly clear. My darling. After feeling that the three natal wind knives lost contact, Wu Feng was completely frightened, and the 2.4 million demon army he brought were quickly killed. A defeat was inevitable. Escape. With the thought, the huge snake body flew up and flew straight into the distance. Although his body is huge, his speed is extremely fast. As a result, before he could escape far, a magnificent divine light of ice and snow fell from the sky. He rolled in embarrassment and escaped with his head, but was caught by his tail. As the body of an ancient monster, although the black water black snake is not a powerful beast, it is extremely powerful with its body of 10,000 feet. But what makes it unbelievable is that the pulling force behind it is nearly 100 times greater than it is. No matter how it struggled, it was quickly swallowed up. Just when he was about to be swallowed up, gritting his teeth, the black snake disintegrates the Dafa. A jet-black mysterious light flew out of the body, flying into the distance like lightning, and the speed was extremely fast. In an instant, it is thousands of miles away. Just when it wakes up and escapes. In the cloudless blue sky in the distance, an old woman wearing a ge robe, with silver hair, and holding a bamboo stick suddenly appeared. A divine gate appeared behind the old woman, and with a dong sound, a bell like a yellow bell rang. Wu Feng felt his soul wandering, and his soul instantly became weak and powerless. Amidst the sound of iron chains, his vision went dark and he completely lost his intuition. After capturing Wu Feng Yuanshen with his Dharma body, Su Huang floated down. Yu Fei, who had already achieved a decisive victory, led his disciples and bowed to greet him. Yu Fei meets his fifth uncle. I'll wait to see my uncle. Just get up. Thank you, master. Yu Fei. The disciple is here. Do you know where these snake monsters come from? It should be the Black God Demon Kingdom to the north. Yes, the one I captured was Wu Feng, the three great kings of the Wushen Demon Kingdom. This demon actually dared to risk the world and take the initiative to attack our Chongshan Academy, so we cannot be spared lightly. Therefore, your master has been ordered to lead an army to sweep across the Black God Demon Kingdom. But if there are any obstacles, they will be eliminated one by one. Yu Fei looked excited. Disciple, obey. As for the two kings of Wushen Demon Kingdom, Wu Qiao and Wu Lin, you don't have to worry. I'll take care of it. Yes. Soldiers are valuable and quick, Wei Sheng. Commander. I will leave you with 200 war boats to sweep away the remaining demon soldiers in the Chili Demon Kingdom. The remaining generals, each with their own troops and horses, will follow me to attack the Wushen Demon Kingdom. This Yu Wumu is really impatient. Looking at the battle ahead through the water mirror, Tai Zhenjun smiled. Turned. Are you really planning to swallow up the Crow God Demon Kingdom as well? Su Junming nodded and said, tolerance in the past was to accumulate strength. Now after my battle with Bai Ying, no one knows about all the factions in the Earth Immortal world, so there is no point in hiding. In this case, it is only right to expand quickly. Aren't you afraid that the White Tiger from Wanchao Mountain will cause trouble for you? Originally, they are in the wrong. As for worries, I am more worried about Buddhism than the 10,000 Beasts Mountain. Those monks talk about mercy, but in fact they are competing against each other to protect their shortcomings. However, due to concerns about the 10,000 Beasts Mountain, they have never dared to openly admit that the Wushan Demon Kingdom is a Buddhist force, so although there is some dirt, it will not cause too much trouble. There was a pause. Of course, when you advance to the Great Lugo realm, all uncertainties will cease to exist. Tai Zhenjun smiled and nodded, looking at the sky in the distance. It has been 1,000 years since I was born. It took 1,000 years to advance to Deluo. Even in the ancient times, the fifth master is worthy of the name of genius. After a proud smile, Tai Zhenjun turned his head. Third brother, I'm walking ahead of you this time. The Dragon Emperor snorted coldly. If I hadn't given up the Wuji Mountain Kinkan Cave to my second brother, with the Tai Chi innate spiritual energy there, I would have made a breakthrough by now. Hey, no matter what. Anyway, fifth master is the first this time. The Dragon Emperor turned his head and was too lazy to pay attention to him. Lao Lu, you can't do it? It took me so long to be born, but it's still a soul body now. Bal Chen Xianzang twitched the corners of his mouth and was too lazy to pay attention to him. Like a victorious general, True Lord Tai turned to look at Ao Tian. The latter's face sank. Lao Wu, if you dare to say one more thing, next time you return to Chongshan World, I will take off your clothes and hang you on the Emperor's Tower. Tai Zhenjun was trembling in his heart and did not dare to tease the sky. After annexing most of Wuji Mountain and the corpse of Zilong, the area of Chongshan World has reached 600 billion miles. As the heavenly Dao of the world, Ao Tian could easily use the power of the world to suppress a great Lugo heavenly immortal. Except for Ren Wuji who was in retreat, Su Junming was the only one left among the crowd. Tai Zhenjun thought for a while, but he didn't dare to provoke him. He twisted his buttocks and straightened his sexy red robe. With his chest out and his belly out, he walked into the Hunyuan Divine Gate with square steps. I'm too lazy to deal with you naked jealous vulgar people. Hit him with the truth. Chen Xianzang spoke out what everyone felt. After the Hunyuan Divine Gate was trained by Su Junming to the Deluo realm, the internal void has expanded to millions of billions of miles, which is equivalent to an ordinary world. There is enough space for Tai Zhenjun to survive the disaster. When I came here, I looked up at the endless void and no longer suppressed the breath on my body. In an instant, a huge aura rose into the sky. The shocking devouring rhyme spread out, and just one glance at it gave me a feeling that my soul was about to be swallowed up. The void was originally dim, but at this moment, beside True Lord Tai, it seemed to be darker than the darkness, as if it was frozen, unable to be dissolved or broken. Boom! The billowing calamity aura flew up along with the thunder. In just a moment, the area within 1,000,000 miles was enveloped by the mighty clouds of calamity. Thunder snakes gathered one after another, vast flames flew in, and fierce wind roared, as if it was the end of the world and the end of the era. The calamity of advancing to Deluo is completely incomparable to any calamity that everyone has experienced before. No wonder there are thousands of Tai golden immortals in the earth immortal realm, but only a few dozen can advance to Deluo. This heavenly tribulation is too powerful, Chen Xianzang exclaimed. The Dragon Emperor nodded and looked at Su Junming. Is it okay, Lao Wu? Don't worry. I have made his natal sky-swallowing jar strong enough, and the elixir to replenish his mana is enough. Coupled with the assistance of the bronze mirror, it will not be difficult to survive the catastrophe. Although he said this, Su Junming had no idea. After all, the thunder catastrophe in front of him was really shocking. This was the first time he had seen the thunder clouds that were millions of miles away. Rumble, rumble, in the increasingly thick thunder clouds, it seems that tens of millions of real dragons have gathered, and the continuous roars of the dragons are connected in a line, shaking the earth. Gradually, the thunder became quieter, the fire became weaker, and the sound of the wind no longer sounded like ghosts crying or wolves howling. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 881. Boom. Heaven and earth are silent. Thousands of miles of empty space was dyed lavender. A huge purple pillar with a diameter of thousands of feet connected to the sky and the ground. Compared to the awe-inspiring power of the heavenly tribulation, Tai Zhenjun's side was silent. A large black hole with a diameter of several thousand feet bloomed above his head. The thunder pillar struck and was instantly swallowed by the black hole. Moreover, after eating this thunder, the black hole was still slowly expanding, and the devouring charm emitted not only did not decrease, but became stronger. The next moment, extremely hot, surging flames rose into the sky. The black hole began to rotate slowly, swallowing all the flames completely with its infinite sucking power. From a distance, it looks like a huge whirlpool, which is extremely amazing. The wind tribulation is different from the thunder and fire tribulations. The rolling wind comes from the inside out, is born directly from the Yongquan point, and blows through the internal organs in an instant. The black hole above Zhenjun Tai's head instantly dissipated, and countless black holes, large and small, were born in his body. The dark wind blew and was quickly swallowed up. This powerful control ability shows the superb Taoist realm. Lao Wu's devouring technique should have reached the middle level of Deluo now, right? Ao Tian saw it and speculated. Su Junming nodded. In fact, he can survive the catastrophe long ago. In order to ensure everything, he spent another 60 years to upgrade the way of swallowing to the middle level of Deluo. Although it is only the first glimpse, it also increases the hope of surviving the catastrophe by 30%. I can't tell that this guy has nothing to do with his joking. He is very cautious at critical moments, Chen Xianzang said. Cultivation is not easy, and it would be a pity to die. As long as you are not a fool, you will not joke about your 1,000-year cultivation, the Dragon Emperor said calmly. While the 4 of them were talking, the second wave of catastrophe had passed. Tai Zhenjun overcame the tribulation by relying on one move to eat all the food in the world. The great magical power that swallows the sky and the earth unfolds, allowing you to unleash violent thunder, raging flames, and cold winds. But when Tai advanced to Deluo, there were 3 thunder tribulations of wind, fire, and thunder, 12 levels and 36. Together with the last inner demon tribulation, there are a total of 37 heavenly tribulations. When the calamity reaches the 8th level, magical powers alone are no longer enough. As soon as his heart moved, a black earthen jar rose into the sky from his dantian. After the heaven-swallowing can of life spiritual treasure merged into it, the big black hole that was already thousands of feet in diameter suddenly became a little deeper. It's as if there is a mountain of iron inside, making it calmer countless times. When the 9th thunder struck, it was no longer like the previous 8th thunder, which was shaking endlessly, as if it would collapse at any time. But the stronger Taoism requires different mana than before. Fortunately, before Tai Zhenjun went through the tribulation, Su Junming had already made a pot of Deluo's low-grade Shaijiachi replenishing pill for him. After taking out one pill and taking it, the dantian quickly became lively, and the depleted mana quickly became full. Although it was not as full as before the tribulation, it would be no problem to survive a few more tribulations. The tribulations of wind, fire, and thunder passed by, and in the blink of an eye they reached the 12th level. This is the last level and the most powerful level. If you step forward, you will reach the realm of Deluo. If you cannot step forward, you will die. It is often this severe thunder disaster that stops thousands of Tai golden immortals. Gilu. Like a cow drinking water, the tribulation thunder in the sky quickly gathered towards the center. Gradually, a thunderball with a diameter of 1,000,000 feet gathered in half the sky. The thunder compressed to the extreme was no longer violent, but instead turned into a pool of lavender water. The waves reflect a strange sense of beauty. When the thunder water gathered more and more, it turned out to be thicker, as if it would roll down at any time. A lavender petal suddenly grew out. It started out very small, but in a blink of an eye it became huge. One leaf grows and then another. It soon turned into a 12-leaf thunder flower. This lavender flower that absorbed all the thunder and water floated and fell from the mid-air. Taizhenjun held his breath and activated the magical power of swallowing the sky and the earth to the maximum. The next moment, the petals of the thunder flower enveloped him like clouds hanging from the sky. Boom! The mighty thunder was like a flash flood. Between movement and stillness, there is infinite divine power. Seeing it in their eyes, Su Junming and others' hearts were raised in their throats. Although I have confidence in true Lord Tai, this calamity is too severe. Wait until the thunderstorm passes. After the figure of true Lord Tai appeared, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. However, at this moment, Taizhenjun's figure no longer obeyed his previous calmness. The red Taoist robe turned into a beggar's costume, with strips hanging on his body. His fat face was so dark that it looked extremely funny. Fortunately, although he was in a sorry state, there were no obvious wounds on his body. The Dragon Emperor stretched out his hand and used the photography technique to preserve the embarrassed appearance of true Lord Tai. Looking at everyone's stunned eyes. If that guy becomes the great Luo Celestial Queen, he will show off in front of me. With this thing around, he won't be too arrogant. Hearing this, there were two sounds of caca, and Ao Tian and Chen Xianzang used the photo-taking technique at the same time. Su Junming saw this and couldn't laugh or cry. I really don't know if these guys are just trying to relax or if they are serious. After the thunder tribulation comes the fire tribulation. The rolling flames turned into a 9th-grade flame lotus. If the thunder flower comes from the top down, then the flame lotus comes from the bottom up. The closed lotus is like an alchemy furnace, and Taizhenjun is the refined golden elixir. When the flames dissipate, true Lord Tai appears again. He was completely naked, and all the hair on his head and eyebrows was gone. The fat body, coupled with a braised egg head, is full of joy. Seeing this scene, Dragon Emperor, Ao Tian, and Chen Xianzang activated their photo-taking skills in unison. Now Su Junming confirms that these guys are definitely seeking revenge in the future. The last wind disaster turned into a windmill, tearing crazily from the inside out. Although he has the magical power of devouring, Taizhenjun still feels a lot of pain in his body. The fat on his body and face is beating endlessly. It makes him want to laugh, but it is extremely dangerous. Su Junming and others can clearly see the condition of Taizhenjun's body through the bronze mirror. It wasn't until the last windmill disappeared that I felt truly relieved. The last inner demon calamity was protected by a bronze mirror, so there was not much danger. A strong demonic energy descended from the sky and went straight into the head of Liu Yang. Within a moment, Halazi flowed from the corner of Taizhenjun's mouth, and the look on his face was extremely ecstasy. I dare say, this guy must be drinking, Ao Tian said. No, it must have been soaked in wine, Chen Xianzang said. And it's monkey wine, the Dragon Emperor rarely agreed. Su Junming didn't say much. But Taizhenjun's taste for wine was born in the womb and cannot be changed. The inner demon must be the same. I don't know how long it took before Zhenjun Tai slowly woke up. Stretched greatly. I really want to come to this magical fantasy land more times. The calamity clouds gathered in mid-air, and the black color gradually receded, replaced by the milky white rich spiritual energy of creation. Rolling down, they swarmed into Zhenjun Tai's body. The aura on the latter's body skyrocketed, and there was no longer any barrier between Tai and De Luo. 3 feet above the head, half an acre of clouds dispersed. 3 huge green lotuses appeared above King Yun. The green lotus in the middle holds a large black hole that is constantly rotating, and the rich devouring charm spreads out from it. This black hole is the Delugo Deo fruit of true Lord Tai. The green lotus on the right holds a large golden ship, with infinite energy hidden in it. The green lotus on the left holds a black clay pot, which also exudes a powerful devouring charm. As the Dantian continues to expand and the mana continues to increase, the aura of Tai Genjun becomes stronger and stronger. After a long time, everything calmed down. An extremely powerful aura emanated from Genjun Tai. Haha, I finally became a great Luo Tianxian. He clasped his waist with his hands and laughed loudly. Soon he seemed to remember something and looked towards Su Junming and others. Long Emperor, Ao Tian, Chen Xianzang, and others' expressions changed, and before the guy could get his act together, they all released the images they had left earlier. The figure several hundred feet tall can be clearly seen from a distance. Tai Genjun saw this, and his smile instantly froze on his face. You are jealous, naked jealousy. True Lord Tai jumped to his feet and cursed angrily. Shaking his head, he was too lazy to deal with these living treasures anymore. He took a step forward and went to the pavilion in the backyard of Chongshan residence and sat down in the pavilion in the backyard of Chongshan residence. Looking at the vast smoke and the rich spiritual energy of the creation spirit pond in front of him, his eyes became profound. Tai Genjun broke through to the Deluo realm, and Chongshan Academy finally had the foundation to govern an area of hundreds of millions of miles and become a top sect. After another 60 years, the Dragon Emperor can successfully break through. Next up is Renwuji. As for himself, with Tai Genjun, Dragon Emperor, and Renwuji standing in front, there is no need to be afraid even if the Buddhist sect comes to press them. As for himself, it is still early for him to break through. It is not that easy to polish one's physical body and magical power to perfection at the same time. Fortunately, he still has enough time. However, there are only less than 300 years until the journey to the west begins. At this moment, the war in Wushan Demon Kingdom is reaching a critical point. Yufei's army was powerful and invincible. Wherever it passed, the demon army of the Black God Demon Kingdom collapsed. But the 2,800 war boats and millions of troops are not as good as the hundreds of millions of demon troops of the Black God Demon Kingdom. The further they advance toward the core of the Wushan Demon Kingdom, the greater the resistance they encounter. Fortunately, as the troops behind Chongshan Academy continued to be replenished, the battle situation gradually began to tilt in the direction of Chongshan Academy. The endless demon clan soldiers were overwhelming, rushing over like a sea wave. Opposite, 2,800 war boats, as well as 2,000 war boats supplemented from behind, lined up. There is a huge space inside the war boat. 500 warriors, divided into groups of 100, took turns charging the cannons on the warship. After the mana input of hundreds of people, the formation on the artillery will be activated. Infinite spiritual energy was sucked in, and then after being amplified and accelerated through layers of formations, it merged into a powerful Zhengjin spiritual light. It spanned a distance of several thousand feet like lightning and hit the demon clan formation hard. Hundreds of monster warriors were instantly crushed by the sharp Zhengjin divine light. Each Yuanyang war boat has 3,000 such artillery pieces. There are more Tai war boats. Nearly 5,000 war boats opened fire at the same time, and the Zhengjin aura was overwhelming. Even though the Wushan Demon Kingdom was surrounding them from all directions, they were blocked thousands of feet away, making it difficult for them to advance even an inch. Thanks to book friend Y2509895 for the reward of 100 starting coins. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 882. Chapter 863 8 Heavenly Dragon Bodhisattvas. Su Huang was in the air, frowning as he looked at the anxious battle below. Chongshan Academy has always pursued a policy of elite troops, so the number is small, but the combat power is strong. Just like now, although there are only a few million elite soldiers, they have blocked tens of millions of demon soldiers from the Wushan demon kingdom. But the stalemate lasted too long and was not in line with the original intention of Chongshan Academy. After all, there are 10,000 Beast Mountain and Buddhism behind the Wushan demon kingdom. They must fight quickly to create an established fact and include this land into the Chongshan boundary formation before they can take it. Think of this. You wait here. Li Yingshan nodded. Su Huangfei stepped forward and transformed. In an instant, a 30,000-foot long, snow-white phoenix appeared in mid-air. Call out. The melodious phoenix cry resounded throughout the world. In the blink of an eye, the temperature within 300,000 miles dropped rapidly, but within a moment, large snowflakes fell. The drastic changes in the celestial phenomena instantly attracted the attention of all soldiers from the demon and demon tribes. Wu Jiao and Wulin, who had been watching the battle from behind, changed their expressions greatly. He secretly said no and suddenly changed his mind. In an instant, two gigantic giant snakes appeared in the sky. Before the two of them could stop him, a middle-aged female general wearing a cyan armor and holding a golden sword, an old woman in Gyi holding a bamboo staff and holding a golden pagoda in her palm blocked the path of the two demons. It is the Kuishui Dharmakaya and the Sunfen Dharmakaya among Su Wang's three corpses. The two Dharma bodies of the same Tai Golden Immortal level hold top Tai Immortal treasures, and their combat power is not much inferior to that of Su Huang. He quickly blocked Wu Jiao and Wulin. Su Huang, who had transformed into Yuan Zun, had a phoenix crown on his head that lit up with rich white light, and extremely cold air flew towards him. Gradually, a huge cyclone with a radius of 100,000 miles seemed to appear in the sky. Rolling ice-cold spiritual energy quickly gathered towards Su Huang. A huge white ice ball appeared on her chest. Even from a great distance, one could clearly feel the bone-crushing coldness in the ice ball, as well as the world-destroying tyranny. Wait until the ice ball gathers 10,000 feet. Chirp. There was another high-pitched phoenix cry. The ice ball melted away instantly, and countless ice swords, like rivers bursting their banks, slashed overwhelmingly towards the place below where the demon soldiers were the most. Covering an area of hundreds of thousands of miles, there is no room for dodge. As soon as the two sides collided, thousands of demon soldiers were killed by sharp ice swords. The sky for hundreds of thousands of miles was dyed with blood. Except for a few big demons who became Yuan Yang true immortals, the rest of the demon clan were killed instantly. The nearly million-mile encirclement suddenly lost a large chunk. The pressure on Yufei's fleet suddenly decreased. He quickly mobilized superior forces and killed the monsters next to him. The balance of victory began to tilt toward Chongshan Academy little by little. Su Huang took a breath and activated the Taoist technique just now, which consumed a lot of energy on her. Fortunately, once the goal is achieved, it is not considered a waste. Spreading his wings, his long tail feathers swept through the air. The cold air is rolling, and the Yangtze River is sloping down. After seeing the domineering infinite ice sword just now, the frightened demon clan retreated to avoid it, and their rigorous formation collapsed instantly. Without the protection of the formation, in front of the powerful battle boat of Chongshan Academy, there is only one chance of being crushed. Plus Su Wang's help. In less than a quarter of an hour, the entire army of the Crow God Demon Kingdom collapsed. Wu Jiao and Wulin saw it, and their angry hisses shook the world. But no matter how unwilling or angry they are, it will be difficult for them to go over and provide support. The powerful Jin Ji is extremely sharp. The Eight Treasures Demon Tower is extremely domineering. Suddenly, a loud bell resounded throughout the world. The sound of the bell reached their ears, and Wu Jiao and Wulin, who were unprepared, felt a pain in their heads, and most of their surging magic power instantly dissipated. The natal magical weapons surrounding him also lost their support, and their brilliance dimmed. Laugh. The magnificent light was invincible, and it instantly knocked away the long black knife beside Wu Qiao. Clatter, the sound of iron chains, and the overwhelming soul-binding ropes, ignored its hard scales, flew into the body, and took out its soul. The same goes for Wu Lin next to him. Within a moment, the two demon kings of the Wushan demon kingdom were captured. A ray of snow-white divine light fell from the sky, and the remaining huge snake body disappeared instantly. Seeing this scene, the morale of the Wushan demon kingdom's demon army collapsed instantly. Tens of millions of monsters fled in all directions. Chongshan Academy used 10 war boats as a team to pursue them one after another. The corpses of hundreds of millions of monsters lay scattered everywhere. After this battle, the Wushan demon kingdom no longer existed. After annexing the two demon kingdoms of Chile and Wushan, the land controlled by Chongshan Academy exceeded 1 trillion miles and became another empire in Nanzan continent. Su Huang did not participate in the following battle. As soon as he patted the red gourd on his waist, a spiritual light fell from the sky. After falling to the ground, it instantly transformed into a huge building complex covering an area of tens of thousands of acres. Su Huang's seals flew out one after another, and the powerful spiritual light expanded rapidly from the building complex, and soon connected with the spiritual light flying from behind. Wiping out the demon army is only the first step. Setting up Chongshan Academy and connecting the Chongshan Boundary Protection Formation is the second step. Only after completing these two steps can this land be considered as your own. In the later stage, it is only necessary to reclaim land, relocate people, and establish effective rule. Yu Fei led the army in front to sweep away the demons, while Su Huang and Li Yingshan were in the rear, pit by pit, placing the 9,000 lower courtyards, 600 middle courtyards and 30 upper courtyards that Su Junming had refined in advance. In less than half a month, the two countries' territories were completely swallowed up. Damn Su Junming, you really think that my 10,000 beasts mountain is afraid of him, so he actually took over my black god demon kingdom? After receiving the news, Bai Ying was furious. Ancestor, we can't hesitate anymore. If Chongshan Academy is allowed to establish a firm foundation in Wushan Demon Kingdom and set up a large formation, it will be difficult for us to take it back again, Bai Changfeng advised. Old Ancestor, since Chongshan Academy has not followed the rules and taken away the Wushan Demon Kingdom, we can use this as an excuse to take back the Chile Demon Kingdom as well. Bai Zizai said. He is also the elder of the White Tiger clan in Wanchao Mountain and has the cultivation level of Tai Golden Immortal. Ancestor temporarily extinguishes his thunderous wrath. It is no longer a secret that the Wushan Demon Kingdom has secretly taken refuge in Buddhism. Although we dare not admit it publicly due to our 10,000 Beasts Mountain, it is impossible for Buddhism to not react if such a chess piece is wiped out. Why don't we wait a moment and watch Chongshan Academy compete with Buddhism, and then join in depending on the situation? Maybe we can get huge benefits without any effort. The speaker was a handsome young man wearing a yellow robe. When the demons heard this, they couldn't help but think on their faces. Ancestor, what Elder Hu said is very true. Buddhism is accustomed to being overbearing. If such an important chess piece of the Wushan Demon Kingdom is destroyed, there will definitely be no reaction, Bai Changfeng said. Forget it, just follow what Mr. Hu said and suspend the war. Bai Ying followed suit. In fact, if he mobilized all his troops to attack Chongshan Academy, he had no chance of victory. After all, he had tried his best in the last fight, but Su Junming was still unable to do anything. Especially in the end, he still can't figure out the way he used to avoid his own great Sumurjengjin divine light. Even if we fight now, it may not be beneficial to 10,000 Beast Mountain. Report. A little demon wearing armor ran in. Reporting to the ancestors, elders, Sunfen Mountain sent demons to report that millions of Buddhist soldiers passed by and flew to the southeast. Bai Ying, Bai Changfeng, and others suddenly stood up, looking excited. What time? 2 hours ago. Haha, let's go and see the excitement. Led by Bai Ying, the demons flew towards the direction of the Wushan demon kingdom. Su Huang, who was guarding the Wushan demon kingdom at this moment, also received news of the invading Buddhist soldiers, and took Li Yingsheng and Yu Fei to form a formation to meet the enemy. As one of the two superpowers in the earthly immortal realm, Buddhism, like Taoism, has many internal masters and strong men. The 8 tribes of Tianlong are one of the more powerful ones. Because the Wu Shenyao kingdom had taken refuge in Mohulogia, one of the 8 tribes, the one who came this time was the 8 tribes of heavenly dragons. The leaders are the leader of the 8 tribes of heavenly dragons and dragons, the 8 tribes of heavenly dragons Guangli Bodhisattva, and the leader of the heavenly beings the 8 tribes of heavenly dragons and Dharma Bodhisattvas. The leader of the Yakshas, the 8 dragon Yaksha Bodhisattva. The leader of the Gandharvas, the 8 dragons and joyous Bodhisattvas. The leader of the Asuras, the 8 dragons and Asuras Bodhisattva. The leader of Garuda, the 8-part heavenly dragon wisdom acting Bodhisattva. The leader of Kinnara, 8 heavenly dragons Yaksha Bodhisattva. The leader of Mohulogia, the 8 heavenly dragons swallowing Dharma Bodhisattva. The 8 Bodhisattvas are the 8 powerful Tai golden immortals. They came with great momentum, and couldn't help but stop when they saw the strict formation on the opposite side. Among the 8 tribes, Guangli Bodhisattva and Xingfa Bodhisattva are the strongest, so they are naturally the talkers of the 8 tribes. Amitabha, please ask fellow Taoists from Chongshan Academy to come forward and answer. Su Huang stepped out of the formation, dressed in white gauze, with a beautiful face and a cold expression, like a snow lotus from the Tianshan mountains that was all white, blooming with infinite brilliance in front of the tens of thousands of troops. Guangli Bodhisattva, Tunfa Bodhisattva, and others' eyes lit up. This girl should belong to me, said the 8th class heavenly dragon Guangli Bodhisattva. Dragons have a unus nature, especially poisonous dragons. The original body of the 8-part heavenly dragon Guangli Bodhisattva is a poisonous dragon that has practiced Taoism for 100,000 years. After being subdued by the Tathagata, he entered the 8 heavenly dragons. The naked eyes made Su Huang feel disgusted. But she was representing the entire Chongshan Academy at the moment, and she could not feel that the Chongshan people did not understand etiquette because of her personal likes and dislikes. My Chongshan lineage has no grudges against your Buddhist sect, but you, the 8 tribes of heaven and dragon, have mobilized their troops to come here. I don't know what your intentions are. Amitabha, the Wu Shenyao kingdom is one of the 8 tribes of our Buddhist sect, Mohulogia. Chongshan Academy has violated the boundaries for no reason and killed people wantonly. As the leaders of the 8 tribes, how can we ignore it, said Guangli Bodhisattva Gao. Vocal channel. Su Huang looked sarcastic. As far as I know, the Wushan Demon Kingdom is an affiliated demon kingdom under the White Tiger City of 10,000 Beast Mountain. When did it become the Mohulogia of the 8 tribes of your Buddhism? Guangli Bodhisattva was at a loss for words. He was originally worried about the interference of Wanchao Mountain. Although he accepted the surrender of Wushan Demon Kingdom, he did not publicly announce it. Previously, I was greedy for Su Huang's beauty, coupled with the vast power of Buddhism, and the 8 tribes were used to being strong, so I forgot about this.